Pyra, then it said Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or
Yeah.
something.
It's not best girl, but we'll
I'm
take
sure
it.
Mithra is probably on the other side.
Oh, she better be. The fuck.
But it's like, yeah, that's dedication there. Like I like gaming and stuff, but I'd never wrap my car in a gaming related.
Oh,
Where's yours at, Terrell?
Where is mine at actually?
Pull it out. Oh wait, pause.
I didn't know he had one. I didn't know you had one for this.
What, for a Xenoblade?
For X?
The man got one for every Xenoblade, I think.
No, I don't have it for 2.
No. Oh, you don't have it for 2, really?
No.
Better get
Isn't
on
that
the
your
eBay.
favorite one?
3's right here. Hold on a second.
Oh, you got
Isn't
3.
that your favorite one? How could you not have it for that?
Did they have one?
Yeah, two had one. I have it.
Let's see what they go for on eBay. Was it called Collector's or Special Edition?
Shit everywhere, bro.
3.
That's a cool one. Huh, so the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with Steelbooks, 193.
Yeah, I put no one for 2. Yeah. Did I put it back up?
A cabinet full of amiibos.
What's up? We got Lecrae, we got Muhammad. I don't know if these guys knew we were live. They're just walking around. Trying to figure out. Craig, you probably have a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Collector's Edition, don't you? I'll just talk.
That's gonna be a mess to clean up later. That's gonna be a mess to clean up later.
So what's that cover look like? All right, so there's a couple saying they're from Japan on
Not
eBay.
seen that before? Huh?
There's some on eBay, but they say they're from Japan, and they don't say Xenoblade Chronicles. It's not the same at the bottom, so I don't see any North American ones on eBay.
Oh wow!
Oh, here you go. $3.99 or best offer, so who knows what they'd take. Well, that comes with 3 and
Or the Japanese one?
No, this is an American one, but it has Torna and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 combined.
Oh,
But still, it's looking a little pricey.
that's
Not a lot of North American ones. They're all Japanese ones that are popping up on eBay.
odd.
Hmm.
Oh no, I gotta take better care of this box.
Oh, they're a little flattened, or a little crushed in the
Yeah.
front. What's Tro
Yeah.
looking for?
Because there's nothing in here. I took all the stuff out.
I put
Well,
my
I guess
game. I
the
put
trays
everything
in
back
there.
in mine.
I can readjust this.
Cray says you're looking at $250 or more for sealed. I'm not even seeing a North American one on here. Period.
For sealed? Well, mine isn't sealed. So.
Let's see. NTSC Japan, China. Where's just... Huh. It only gives... The region code for this on eBay only gives Japan.
There he is, yes, slacker.
Oh God.
Nice Labyrinth poster behind you there. And a coffin.
I know.
Is that
Put 'em in
Oh
a
yeah.
coffin.
I
Dave
haven't seen Labyrinth since I was a child. I've literally probably watched it in 35, 38 years.
That's when I fell in love with Jennifer Connelly.
It's like the wife's favorite movie. I only saw it for the first time like 4
really?
years ago or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
How does it hold
love
up?
Labyrinth.
Statues and knickknacks all around.
How does it hold up to somebody watching it in 2021?
I loved it.
Did you?
I
I
haven't seen
fucking
it in
love
10
I
years.
just
I love
remember there
that.
was like, I don't know if they were Jim Henson. There was a lot of like creatures, puppet, like
Yeah, that's why I liked it. It's all practical effects. Same
Practical.
with Dark Crystal. I saw that for the first time only a couple years ago. Fucking amazing.
That was the first time you saw that too? Oh,
Yeah.
Dark Crystal. If you have Netflix,
We
please
do.
go and watch the Dark Crystal TV series. It
I wanna
is
watch it.
amazing.
I've
It's
literally been waiting
amazing.
until I had watched the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
haven't-
It's a
I heard
prequel.
good stuff about it.
I haven't
It's a
seen
prequel to the movie. So
I haven't seen the
It's
movie in
freaking
forever either, and I tried watching the show, but without haven't seen the movie in 30 years. I just couldn't get
See,
into
they
it.
did everything practical. I mean, they put in some CG, but it's like real subtle and it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful show.
So just have 3 there, Terrell?
Yeah, I don't know where X is right now.
I don't have it for X. I don't. Oh, excuse me. I don't have 3 special. I
I
wanted
bought
it, but
3s, but I don't remember where X is.
I couldn't get it in time.
Which is weird because I have fucking.
Retro, you got your game collection yet?
Yeah. My shit is gonna be here mid-May probably.
Damn.
The boat fucking departed yesterday. It's gonna arrive
boat?
here the 30th. Yeah, it's gonna arrive
That's
the
so crazy to
30th.
me.
And from that moment on, it can still take up to 6 weeks.
Damn.
I know, it's brutal. It's fucking brutal.
So Cray bought a sealed copy of the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Collector's Edition for $250 last year.
Oh really?
He's
Yeah.
buying a lot of garbage for the money he can spend on it, man.
Ooh.
Hey, Cray, he can spend
Shots
his money
fired.
however he wants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
damn it.
like, but shit like grading your games at Wada Games after everything we know that people have been wanting him. Like, why would you continue? Like, it's the most worthless grading you can do.
Is it still, the price is still false or like inflated because of that their bullshit where they were buying their
That's
own?
going down. But I mean, they grade things like 99S Super, where it's all damaged and wrinkled up and shit. Like, there's no quality control on that.
Yeah, I watched those Carl videos and it really opened my eyes to
They
that.
Oh,
grade-
good.
They grade open shit too, don't they?
Oh, it's so.
So they've graded. I mean, I think you can send anything there, but
can
they've
send anything,
graded
yeah.
things like with perfect grades that just look like garbage.
It's funny that we're talking about this because the guy, the UPS driver, I told him I was like, buying some old games because he's not a big gamer, but he's like, yeah, I just bought Tiger Woods on the Wii. But he brought up, he's like, man, some of those Mario games will go like $30,000. I said, yeah, that was a big scandal that I don't think a lot of news people covered the scandal part of it, but a lot of people covered when that game sold for
Price.
$30,000.
Oh my god.
He said he sold Mario 3 for $2,500. I mean, people fall for it, so I guess.
Yeah. People who
Just
aren't
saying,
in the
I
know.
don't know if like my image might die here and there because like I was in the other room, the game room, but the internet Wi-Fi there is so garbage. That's why last week I kept being thrown out a few times. I gotta
Yeah.
like mess around with the modem and the
Mm.
cables before that's okay. So if anything happens, it's to be
Just get
expected.
an extender. They're only like $30.
Extender, like a box extender or a
Wi-Fi?
cable.
It's a Wi-Fi extender. You just plug it in the wall in the room you're in, and it'll carry the signal.
Oh, shut up!
stronger.
Really?
Yeah.
I had one.
That's what I need.
I have one because the house is huge. So
How does
I
that
want-
work?
Don't you got to put it like kind of still where it gets good signal and then can pass the signal
Yeah, it's
on?
like a middle
Yeah.
point.
You can
Mhm.
find it for
put it
like
in the
$10 on Amazon.
oh,
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
I don't know if you want that one.
Yeah, I don't know for the $10 one, but
spend a little bit more money on it. than
Spend a little bit more
publishing.
money. It's 25, 30 at least, I think.
Yeah. Or else you're just getting some trash.
So Cray bought Mario Brothers 3 for $200. He got it graded and sold it for $2,500. Yeah, there's people out there still
Yeah,
paying for
yeah.
that stuff.
Right now, don't hold it. Do what Cray's doing. Sell that shit right now.
But, you know, it's still, to me, it's after hearing how the same people were like investors in the grading company and the auction company were the ones bidding up the games really high. Like, that's...
Before I moved here, I sold a few things to make some extra money, and specifically a short hike, the super rare or limited run, whichever one it was. I was doing my T thing. I bought the collector's edition double, I bought the standard edition double, and I sold all that shit. Like the collector's edition was like 100. I sold it for like 250.
Yeah.
And the base game, I bought it for like 50. I sold it for like 100. You know. Like you have money to invest for that shit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
sold
you got a
absolutely.
little capital.
I sold my GameCube games when it was hot, and then I'm like, you know, at the time, I just bought a truck, and you know, I'm paying an extra $400 a month that I wasn't paying, and I sold my GameCube games, and I saved all that money towards that's how I
You
bought
sold
the
them in like 21, right?
yeah, it was end of 2020 into 2021, and
Yeah, that's when they really started getting hot.
you know, I sold 2 of my controllers and my Wavebird and
How much you sell that Wavebird for? I know that just was expensive.
70 maybe.
Really?
Yeah, and it was in mint
Seems-
condition. I barely ever used it. I won't say mint, but like new. I would, you know, close to.
Oh,
Like,
mine is dead. I've only used it. Like the
I beat the
nubby
shit out
is
of
like
mine.
tearing off and shit.
Yeah, I got the nub issue. I
But-
beat the shit out of mine.
you know, and I used that money towards obviously the PS5. I didn't get till like April 2021, but now that like truck's paid off and, you know, got a bunch of, you know, sitting pretty comfortable, extra money each month. Damn, you know, kind of wish I hung on to those games, but it is
At
what
the
it is.
moment, you don't know, man. At the moment, you need it, you
Yeah.
need it.
My justification was Wind Waker. I got HD. That's to me the definitive version. I was never gonna play the original Wind Waker. Melee. I was never gonna play that after Smash Ultimate. Like, you know, yeah, it's cool to have, I guess, but and
I
then
sold
Sunshine.
my Jaguar. I sold my Sega CD. I still kept I kept the games for some reason. I sold this fucking system.
I sold my
Nah,
Super Nintendo.
I'm
to my-
regretting that. I'm regretting that a little bit. But
I sold the Super Nintendo and all my games to my cousin, but I kept the box to the Super Nintendo. So luckily I have that in good,
the
pretty
most
good.
expensive thing.
It's a
The
little
one
beat
thing I
up.
sold that I regret were some in-box gaming watches. There was a period before I had my previous job. I needed money. I was like, fuck it. Like, these are the things that are going to have to go.
So one of my favorite childhood gifts was a game that my mom got for me. She probably said it was from Santa. And she didn't put it in a bigger box. She would just wrap the NES games or Super Nintendo games, and I could tell. I think later on maybe she started putting them in a different style box because I could tell what it was. And I would had the presents in my lap, and I saw this. I knew it was an NES game, and that's one of the games I gave to my other cousin when I had to give the NES away because it was my grandpa's. I just gave all my games away like I was a stupid kid. And cat's messing with my cord here. And so yeah, I finally picked it up. $60 I had to pay for a really good condition, full, complete in box edition, a Tecmo Bowl. And I was like, I still remember, I don't remember the exact wrapping paper. I still remember opening it. I mean, that was like 86, 87. And
Yeah.
it's just like, why would I give that? Why did I give it away? Like, the games were mine. The system was my grandpa's. Like, why the frick did I give those games to my cousins? I just
You,
I had my Super
thought process.
Nintendo. I was loving that, and I was like, no, I guess I don't care. And,
Everybody does that when they're young. It's just
so yeah, I got Contra and Mike Tyson's Punch Out, just the cartridge with the dust cover. Contra has the manual, and then I did some repo box ordering for those games. And you know, there's a couple games on my list. Like, I like Mike Tyson's Punch Out because it doesn't exist anywhere. Like, the actual Mike Tyson's Punch Out, you can't play that anywhere unless you, I guess, emulation. But Nintendo Virtual Console, it's all Mr. Dream. Now it's just called Punch Out. They don't even say with Mr. Dream.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's
what happens when you get a rape charge.
yeah.
Oh wow, a rap A?
Hey, I'm
Big
trying to do the
infringement out
YouTube.
here.
I'm trying to do the YouTube thing. You know,
I didn't
gotta
know
be
you were
careful.
bilingual, dog. You didn't tell me that.
But that's a unique version of the game. Tecmo Bowl, this has the players' names on the screen, but the Virtual Console and the Switch Online just has the number. You don't know who the players are.
You don't want to get sued.
Super Tecmo Bowl has the NFL license. They can't have these games on the Switch Online. And then Contra, the first Contra's, I guess it's on a collection that wasn't that highly rated.
Because Europeans don't know what Contra is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
what is
because
it?
we know the art that is
Ooh.
Probotector, man.
Protector, that garbage.
I've never heard that name in my life. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's called
Yes.
Protector. Instead of being cool dudes, instead of being Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, you get to be these robots, these
What?
generic ass robots.
In Germany, there was really heavy censorship during the NES days, so they didn't allow a lot of that violence. You couldn't have the word ninja,
Yeah.
and you couldn't really have a lot of the soldiers. So when Contra released, they they created these pet labor style robots that are fucking cool, by the way, and like they changed the enemies into robots, and like that's why we know it as Protector.
What
Yeah.
Prototector?
I mean, I personally, as a kid,
Probo
kid,
Tector.
yeah, I grew up with it, so it's also different. But as a kid, you
Yeah,
had
it's
everything
different
like,
for you.
because you had like Rambo and GI Joe and Ikari Warriors. Everything had the same soldiers. So I saw these robots, was like, finally something original.
Yeah, but they're so generic, bro. Like
And then
I wanna watch
Arnold
this for the
Schwarzenegger
first
and
time.
Sylvester Stallone in the late '80s. That's in the video game. We wanted this. That was
Live
great.
reaction to Prototector. Okay, that's the exact same backgrounds, obviously. Enemies are
Oh, it's
different
the same
too.
game. Yeah. They
Yeah, the enemies
replaced
are
everything with
different, yeah.
robots.
Me and my cousin would play this non-stop. We'd beat it 3, 4, 5 times back to back and play till the sun came up. Like,
I played this with my brothers over and over, man.
with 2 players, it's doable. Single player, man, it's hard.
What's hard?
Contra.
I beat Contra so many times. I beat it live on my channel
Did
with no cheats.
Well, I was a
with
kid
no,
the last time I
Konami
played.
cheat.
I was a little like child last time I played this game. So
Oh, that's when that's when I used to rinse this fucking game.
really,
When I was a kid, yeah.
I don't know. I never. Maybe I don't know if I had it myself or I just always had to play it at my cousin's house. But like we'd play till the sun come up. We'd play this game. We had it mastered. And
That was the only reason I did that challenge on my channel, because I was like, all right, I used to rinse this game when I was a kid by myself. Can I still do
I
it
always
without
liked
the
the
Konami
spread
code?
gun. Yep.
Um,
And then you get the second one and it
Oh,
shoots faster.
I think I did it. No Konami code, no continues. I don't even think I used continues.
I did we did
What
the Konami
loser
code.
picks up the laser, man?
Me and my cousin one would take the laser, the other would take the spread.
The laser's only good against the
It's good against like
what's
the
that one
alien.
level? Yeah, that one spaceship boss fight and the big robot that tossing discs and shit.
Man, those sound effects are gold tier, man. So good.
I mean, it's the same game, so I was like, it's not.
It's exactly the same game except for the enemies and your protagonists.
I just want to see what the other angle looks like when you're running in the towards the 3D environment.
Hmm.
Du-du-du,
I have to go to the top so I can go. I can drop down, flip.
Crazy. I haven't heard that. Like, I haven't heard the music to this game probably 30 something years, and I still knew that. So that music is. Huh. Terrell, you ever play
This
this?
is probably the game I played the most on NES.
No, I haven't. I've
This
seen
and-
it a lot, but I've never.
This and Tecmo Bowl are my 2 most played by far.
Easy, yeah.
Hmm.
What? Oh, the music sounds slower because it's 50 hertz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, why does the music sound so slow?
I still don't
Oh.
even know what that's gonna do for me over here if I hook up my original NES here. Like if that means my 50 hertz games, European games are gonna play faster, or if it's gonna adapt. I gotta figure all that stuff out. It's like a whole
I think
new
it has
world.
to do with the TV, right?
Well, normally, yeah, exactly.
How do you normally
Yeah.
hook? How do you hook your old system?
Like, I have because I disabled the lockout chip on my NES, so I play American Game Zone there, but I feel they also just play slower in Europe.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would play faster or if I need to buy some adapter for it. I gotta figure that stuff out.
Do you have
Crazy
a,
that I noticed that right away when I heard that. I was like, that sounds slow.
Did you have
The music
I
sounds
always-
slow.
a TV
I
that
always
you're
have
sending
the-
to yourself? Did you ship a TV or something that has, or how do you hook up
Yeah, I
your
have
old
my
systems?
my original. I mean, it's still a flat screen HD TV.
But it have like
but I am
inputs?
shipping it.
Did it have inputs for old systems? RCA
AV,
inputs?
audio, video.
Oh, he froze.
Oh no!
And he's in hell.
You know, it's funny looking at the Contra Select screen. It almost looks like Hugh Jackman with in his Wolverine like look.
I guess now, yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, I mean, the cover of the cover art for the box and shit. It was literally Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Yeah, Stallone. Yeah,
Stallone.
definitely.
they
Retro.
just changed it a little bit so they didn't get sued.
Not still in hell.
And then we play the game. Both protagonists.
Oh yeah,
look
the
same
music's way
anyway.
quicker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I noticed that right away. I used to play this game so much, man. I know
I
every
know.
inch of this game.
I'm surprised how much I remember from the original Mario Brothers first couple levels. Like, I like finding secrets really easily, and I'm like, because you played those stages the most, because it was like a roguelike. I mean, you always start from the beginning. Like when you die, you start
Yeah.
from the beginning. So I played the first world for sure, the most, and then he's is he frozen? Still looks
Yeah, he's
frozen.
still frozen.
Yeah.
But once I got to like world 5, I was like, shit, I don't remember where anything is on this world. But I did a NES playthrough, original hardware. I got to world 5-3. I only had died once, and then all of a sudden, all 5 of my lives, I just lost on that same level. I just lost my mojo, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Playing it for the first time, just starting it up and seeing how far I could go without warping or anything. Because as a kid, obviously, I don't know if I ever just went through it without warping. Like you talked about Mario Brothers 3 last week. I don't think I ever did the first Mario Brothers game like that without warping.
Only when I was on a mission did I use the warping. But I mean, I would always. I had a little. I think I would go through. I go through World 4. And then I definitely would have. I used to jump like the pipe world. It was that World 7. I want to say that's like World 7. But yeah, I couldn't miss. I love the water level. What's that too? Where you get the frog suit for the first time and all that shit. I think that's World 2 from Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a system. If I just wanted to beat the game, I know to go get the flute here and the other flute there. I think there's one in World 4, and that's where I would kind of just work when I wanted just to beat it. But when I wanted to play it, I played the game no problem up until World 8. World 8 is some bullshit.
Well,
There's some bullshit levels in there, bro.
on Switch Online, I'm up to World 5, just saving my progress. I did use the suspend state to help me get through the memory card thing because I was like, but I was like,
That game blew my mind. Like the calypso music, like I used to hum that shit all the time before I went to bed at night. That game had me locked. Like the end music. I mean, I know all the little music in that shit.
I remember the airships were just so cool.
Doom, 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 doom. I'm like, bro.
Sometimes
I
they're a
used
little
that game.
challenging though. When I was a kid, I
Oh yeah,
struggled.
they can be tough. I don't. The dogs would. I call them dogs.
Just the
They'd
wrench
come
throwing.
out. They would throw the wrenches. I call them
Hate that
dog bone.
shit. You kill them endlessly; they'd always come back.
So I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
No, I'm just, hey man, I'm
Hey.
enjoying the conversation.
These old
He
motherfuckers.
plays
Old
old
ass
games.
games.
No, I'm enjoying the conversation, man. I like hearing it.
What'd you start after Devil May Cry 5?
People will find out tomorrow, but there's a Steam sale going on. So my hint is that it was a game that was on sale on Steam. But I haven't told everyone yet, so I'll tell you guys probably off air. It's an old PS3 era game.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I had the
re-released.
chat down for a long time, so let me.
Damn, you weren't even Jesus, man.
Oh man, this game's either lost, thrown in the garbage, or sent to Haiti.
Hades.
What Hades?
Hell.
Sold this
Who said
TurboGrafx
that?
16 with the only 2 games I had. That's an expensive system, man. That was really expensive.
Yeah, I would have held on to.
Most of
Well,
my
I
games
guess you
that
had no
worked.
choice.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, was that? Maybe he's saying what they were called over in Europe because we were talking about that a while ago.
Right. I wish. No, I was no, I don't. I don't wish that. I don't miss the fact, or I don't regret selling my Atari Jaguar. Nobody who cares about that game. Like, there's not one really memorable game
Mm-mm.
other than like Tempest, which you can get on a bunch of systems. And I want to say Doom was pretty good on there, but Doom, like, come on, like you can play Doom on a toaster.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing memorable on the Jaguar. I love that controller. That was pretty much it. And I love the design of it, but the games were ass. Most of them were ass.
I have that Atari 2600 I got rescued from the garbage. That probably works. The NES couldn't get the freaking thing to work and had to buy another one to have one, but it's just sitting there with 2 controllers and the power adapter and I think the RF adapter, however it hooked up. I just have no interest. Like, even if I had a cartridge, like, I I mean, I don't really have any interest in those games.
Oh, he's saying that it wasn't Wi-Fi; it was Discord
Well,
being garbage.
I don't know if he didn't leave properly. Is that why he's showing?
Remember? He said he's rebooting. Oh yeah,
because he didn't leave the chat first. He just closed. That happens. So,
yeah.
That.
Well, I don't think I can kick him without it like blocking him.
The two games.
I think I can kick him.
I think if I disconnect, I think it then blocks him though, doesn't it?
From this. Oh no, not the server.
Disconnect.
Cancel.
Let's see what happens. Okay, he's disconnected.
You know, banned on this shit for life now.
Yeah, that happened to somebody. I forget who they were. They're like, "Yeah, I can't join," and I was like, "Shit!" I just tried to like close it for. I think T or somebody left once, and or the computer crashed, and it showed that up for like the next time we tried to get on the podcast, and it was still showing that whoever was there. But anyway, what were we talking about before that? I was catching up on the chat. We're talking about old games.
Man talking.
Back in my day, I didn't have to remember anything. My wife just told me what I was talking about.
Oh, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming out.
You were talking about you were talking about Atari 2600.
Yeah, I was pretty much I don't know what to do with it. I might just I think somebody at work has a cartridge. At least see if it works. Maybe I'll just take it.
I got one. I got man.
I'll at least take it to the see if I can take it to the CD
I got the
exchange.
best one. E.T.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's right over there.
Quality.
But anyway, Xenoblade Chronicles X comes out on Thursday?
Thursday. It's the 20th, I believe.
I pre-ordered it just because I didn't want to have to deal with trying to like find it. I don't plan on starting it this weekend, but
I just wanted to have it. I have every other Xenoblade.
Yeah, I don't have Torna, so I can't say I have them all. I don't have all the physical.
Oh, you don't have Torna?
Well, not all the physical, but because I don't have Torna physical either.
Oh, me and Robert are the only ones, I guess.
Listen, I had pre-ordered that bitch after I made it finish the main game. I was like,
yeah, I bought the DLC on top of it, 'cause that way I can keep my Torna sealed. You know.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
You know.
But it doesn't feel right to have all the other Xenoblade titles and not have X. So
will this be a definitive edition, or will it not feel quite the same without the second screen? That's gonna be. Let's see how they handle.
That will hurt me. I mean,
But if they do some quality of life improvements, like the quest system for like finding items to get the skull,
yeah, that's huge.
If they gave you
some bullshit,
if it like helps gives you some idea where to go without just telling you like in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, you need this item. It tells you exactly where to go, and then once you get there, it's highlighted like a freaking light shining from it or something. You go right to it. Like there's no searching required. That's too far. So X, the original, a little
too much.
X gave you no idea, not even a region where you needed to go.
Too far in the other direction.
Yeah, now it's like now I don't even have to look for it. So hopefully somewhere in between. And then the new content looks great. And then it's hard to find Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the game. That's crazy. I guess it isn't.
No,
they didn't. I mean, they stopped.
I lost my freaking case.
I want to get this. I
don't know where it is.
He made me look at the collector's edition. I see it on eBay for like $220.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need it.
yeah, you did.
I can't believe it went up that high.
That one I looked at was used. It was opened. That was 200.
Oh, was it?
There's one for 200.
I don't need it. I don't need it. Stop. Put it down. I already pre-ordered the Pyre Mythra amiibos because those got reprinted, so I'm getting that on Friday too. I mean Thursday. But god damn it.
So how well do you think? How well do you think?
Of course I do.
So let's look. You pull up some sales numbers for the Xenoblade Chronicles games on Switch. I'm curious what you think X is gonna do at this late in the generation, right before
around what 2, 3,
right before the Switch 2 Direct and the new system come out this year.
I'm curious of what 3. I'm curious of what 3 did because I don't even know.
I think 3 did. I think 3 is either the best selling or it's.
I feel like it was.
Oh, let me see. Let me go look. Xenoblade.
It's the best one on Switch. Well,
bullshit.
Until Thursday.
The definitive edition. I wonder if that was like closer to 2 of the original game.
I'm gonna go check because it's been a minute.
Now I got the Contra music stuck in my head.
Here we go, BG. So I know the re-release of.
Seems like someone would just. We need like a VG charts thing to come back.
No, I'm looking now. So Xenoblade. No, actually, Xenoblade 2 is still the best selling. It's 2,740,000. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was 1,910,000.
Dang.
And then
That's
weirdly
quite a
enough,
drop.
and then the definitive edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 just on the Switch did about 1,910,000 as well. So
I think X is probably going to be the lowest on Switch out of those.
yeah, I don't see it. I see it'll break 1 million, but that's about it.
When did 3 come out?
3 came out
22? Was it that late?
Was it that late?
I think
It was probably 22.
Was it 21?
Yeah, that's probably right.
I think it was same year as Elden Ring, wasn't it?
Was
Because I feel like it was like 3 big games I played was Xenoblade, Elden Ring, and Horizon Forbidden West, like big open world.
I was just thinking that if X would have came out earlier.
I think if X came out last year, it could probably do 2 million.
Yeah. You can't come out right before the Switch 2 and shit. You think you're going to do some
Unless,
numbers.
unless there's some nice improvements on the Switch 2 that could get people to be one of the first games they want, but
that's the only way, but we know that ain't happening.
Damn,
some people want it, but I don't
keeping
believe
that positivity up. Fucking love to
I
see
don't
it,
believe
baby. Let me see.
It is kind of daunting to think about starting over with that game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's super daunting, especially trying to get that skill.
Yeah, 3 was in July of 22, so it's been out for almost 3 years. Almost 3 years.
Wow, time flies.
I know.
Yeah, I could see it doing. I don't see it doing more than maybe a million, but I don't know if it'll do 2.
That'd be like 1.1 or something.
3 hasn't done 2 yet, so
yeah, 3 and the original version of 1 didn't do 2 million.
Yeah, what did 1 do?
1 did a little bit better. It did like 1. I actually went and looked at VG charts just as a better thing. It's a little bit higher than Xenoblade 3. It's like, but it's still not 2 million. It's like 1.92 ish is what it says. Whereas Xenoblade 3 is like 1.9. So they got close to 2 million. Don't get it twisted. They just didn't get. They need like another 100,000.
I wonder how much like profit they make off of a 2 million sold Xenoblade game, because
I mean, how much does Xenoblade cost to make is a better question.
Yeah, I would think less than Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild needed to sell what, 3 million to?
I think it was
make back
2 million to be profitable.
It was 2 million. Okay.
Yeah.
So Xenoblade probably wouldn't be anything more.
Probably
than
$1 million to be profitable.
I mean, they reused the engine, so I don't even know if it would have cost as much.
Yeah, it probably wasn't even, probably less than half.
People forget that
Breath of the Wild was from the ground up, 7 years.
Someone had to remind me that Xenoblade's all 3 mainline games use the same engine. I think X does too, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know the first 3 games use all the same engine.
3 had a revised version, obviously, because
absolutely. They went back and upgraded and edited the engine, so I imagine the games probably got cheaper in some ways. So
I didn't see a bunch of people talk about it, so maybe it wasn't real, but there was like an image of a patent of Nintendo that popped up, was AI upscaling patent. And
I heard some people talking about
I didn't see much of that.
I already feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 used, it wasn't AI maybe, but the upscaling in that game was actually really effective. So if they can keep improving upon it, and then who knows, with the extra power of the Switch 2, what Monolith's going to be capable of. It's going to be.
They didn't have Vaseline on the handheld screen the way 2 did.
I knew it was going to happen. Bro.
You think X will look good in handheld mode? I think it will.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on that OLED.
Yep. And man, it's just crazy. 8 years. All these games. I mean, I've said it since like 2018. You know, these games are gonna, these Wii U, these other games from other systems come to the Switch, and to people, they're just gonna be Switch games from here on out for a lot of people.
Yeah, of course.
Xenoblade
Us
Chronicles.
Wii U weirdos. Us Wii U weirdos. You just need to leave it alone.
Oh wow.
So these Xenoblade Chronicles games are gonna
throwback.
You've survived long enough to become what you hate, T.
I pulled out a throwback insult. I pulled out a throwback insult.
T, you were better than this. You were the chosen
So it's
one.
the Xenoblade Chronicles games are gonna be remembered as Switch games, like all of them now. Like,
Yep.
Well, because there's no reason to play any other. Well, yeah, for the Wii,
There really is no easy. I mean,
X would be
again,
the only exception.
I'm a Wii U weirdo, so I like my dual screen setup. But other than that,
I saw
no
people
reason.
arguing on Twitter about, or X, whatever, about the Project Rainfall. Like, people were arguing, like, it was, I think it was OJ and Rule of Two, where some dude was trying to say that they were always coming. Xenoblade was always coming to the U.S. They did English voice acting, for Christ's sakes.
No.
And they're like, there's multiple games.
A game called Sin and Punishment.
Yeah, there's a bunch of games that got British voice acting,
right,
never released in the U.S.
That don't mean anything.
Wait, which Sin and didn't they release the one on the Wii in the States? I thought, or is it the older one?
No, they never released the original one in the States.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. You're right. You're right.
But Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, was released in Europe before Project Rainfall, right? Because it had the...
Yeah. It was.
That's because there was a different...
That's part of the reason why it has the British voice acting.
That game was not coming. Those games were not coming. They were not coming.
They weren't. And then enough fan outcry to say, hey, we'll try it. Xenoblade 1
fans made that happen.
Sold really well.
Yep.
I'm only mentioning Xenoblade 1 sales because the other two, although games in their own right,
nobody remembers.
Yeah. It's what, Pandora's Tower and
actually Pandora's Tower. I think it's gotten the worst. Like, people remember
clock.
I can't remember the name.
See, that's the irony hit you. It hit you like a motherfucker.
Lost something. I want to call it Lost Odyssey because
no, it's Lost though.
It's not. It's some. Look at me.
Damn, that's crazy.
See, that's a fail. That is a
I
fail.
Thought it had.
For
I thought something.
I remember Pandora's Tower way more off the name alone. Damn. Fuck. Now
wasn't Lost Souls?
Chat, please help.
Wasn't Lost Souls?
I don't want to look it up.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Lost. I thought it had something to do with clocks, but maybe.
The former Square, the former Final Fantasy.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
We're stupid. Hold on.
He went on to do cell phone games. It was so sad.
There's no way we're this stupid. Hold on. There's no way.
I got Lost Odyssey in my head.
I usually go through the alphabet when I need to.
It's not Lost.
Last Story.
It's Last Story. What a fail.
Last Story. Holy shit.
Fail.
So there's only 3 games?
I played the shit out of those games.
Xenoblade, Pandora's Tower, and Last Story.
The Holy Trinity, man. Last Story. Shameful. I feel so terrible.
I tried to play Xenoblade Chronicles, the Wii version.
Old man brain.
On the Wii U. And I was just like, man.
That's the first time I tried it, and it doesn't work for me.
I couldn't.
What's that?
Xenoblade Chronicles, the Wii version.
So you've never...
I got 10 hours. I got 10 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii.
That's right.
And then I beat the definitive edition.
Yeah, actually, that's literally
on
the
the
same
3DS.
It was the same issue for me. I played the original. I went and bought it for $60 from GameStop.
Did you get the 3DS one?
No, I didn't get the 3DS one. I didn't even get finished through the Wii one, and then I finally went back and I finally played the definitive edition. Went, all right, there we go.
I probably paid 3 hours of that game. Why did I buy that game?
The definitive.
I think I was so mesmerized by the fact that they put that game onto a 3DS.
Oh, the 3DS. Yeah.
For more Wii games. Because
remember,
it had to be new 3DS too.
You remember ASAP Rel? He was such a Nintendo supporter. He played the Wii version, then he bought the 3DS version. He played and beat that, and he made it his game of the year that year. He's like just praising. I'm like, dude, come on, man! Like, it's not even a new game. Like, I'm cool they got it on the new Nintendo 3DS, but come on, man, you know that's that's not the best version.
Listen, people who love Xenoblade really love Xenoblade, and if you find the one that you're attached to, my God,
yeah, you fight all the time about it, like I do with X.
Yeah, my attachment to 2 is like T's attachment to X.
Right.
I think. I mean, yeah, obviously. it's an
It hits
enjoyable.
for certain.
It's an enjoyable
Which is weird, because
formula.
I played and loved the shit out of the original too. So
I never
that
figured out
was different for
the
me.
time Shulk's like can see the future shit. I never figured that out on 10 hours on the Wii version. I could not figure it out. I could never, even on the definitive edition, I still struggle with it.
What?
His like seeing the future and like trying to
Well,
stop it.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because essentially it's showing you an attack that's about to happen, so you're supposed to be aiming for your move to stop it, and I think it even highlights on definitive edition.
It-
So
oh,
all you
yeah,
had to
I think
do
so.
was you just had to select the right thing. I will say, combat wise, you will never convince me of anything else. 2 is still my favorite combat wise. But I haven't replayed X, so
X
we'll
is
see
my
how I feel
favorite
about it.
combat.
X is easily my favorite combat wise. Easy.
I think my problem with three tried to combine the best parts, and I think as a result, it becomes weirdly mundane. In
Yeah,
some
I was
parts.
bored playing the 3 after a while. The combo system was just so it was so
It's like, you know
Is
what
that
I look
why I
at?
haven't finished it yet? Oh.
I just
To be
felt like
fair,
I'm doing the same thing every time, and I'm like, and what's up to
Three's a
Ipsers? Haven't seen him in the chat in a long time. What's up, man?
I think I was talking about it. I was talking about it not too long ago. My problem with 3 is that 3 has the reverse
Like you were still frozen.
problem. Oh no, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's fine. He just
3
looks
has the
like
reverse problem.
This laptop is fucking jank, man. I'm not joking. It literally, no retro deathism, takes 15 minutes to boot up. It's
You
brutal.
need a solid
Yeah.
state in that thing, man. My
Is
buddy.
it a ThinkPad?
Oh God, no!
Send it-
ThinkPad.
Send it to me, my buddy. He
Yeah,
probably has
trash out.
everything like in his house that could make that thing way better. He's got
so sad.
he's got solid states lying around. He's got RAM lying around. For
Once I
laptops.
work, I'm gonna get a desktop anyway.
Like
What
a
were you
real
saying,
man.
Terrell, though? About
Oh,
3's
you know what I'm
combat.
saying? So 3 has as a game in general, mind you, 3 has what I like to call the reverse problem of 2. 2 spent a lot of time trying to throw stuff at you for story wise and combat wise, a bunch of shit at you. Whether it was
lot of
different
shit.
characters, different stories, and all of it was in the main story. 3 is the reverse. From what I've been told, because I haven't even played the extra stuff in 3. 3 apparently gets better as a game if you do more of the extra shit. My problem is I wasn't engaged to do any of the extra shit, and so as a result, I just kind of look at 3 as it's fine.
I
like
mean,
it.
are you talking about Xenoblade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, like I'm still playing.
character design,
I'm
a
still
lot.
playing 3 right now, but I think the main story is just way more captivating in 3. My main reason
I
for that
agree.
is I feel the main characters in 3 feel like they've always been friends. They've always known each other. They've all gone to war together. They're all very set characters. Whereas 2, the fact that everybody's kind of mishmashed together randomly just makes it a much more disjointed team, I feel.
Just
And that just gets me more.
the Mio Noah, like their bond just it just carries everything, and I like all the other characters. I will say
The
I agree with-
emotional impact in 3 is heavy as hell.
So if
Yeah.
Terrell, you're saying somebody said all the extra stuff makes the story better in 3. To
Well,
me,
well,
that
they-
made
they-
it boring. Like all that extra stuff to me, like took away from.
Why didn't the problem is because certain characters don't get like any representation or not enough representation. Like, unfortunately, 3 falls into the same problem I think 1 has, where certain characters just get left in the dust. Like, no one can sit here and tell me, man, Charlotte was such a crazy character in the first game. Charlotte has one plot point that is relevant for all of like a section of the game, and she just doesn't do shit for the rest of the game until her plot comes back up towards the end of the game. That's it. 3 isn't that bad, but 3 I think does it a lot with specifically Senna and Lons, that pair. Those 2 get screwed. Now, from what I've heard and from what I've looked up, their side mission stuff is a lot better. But like main plot wise, not so much. But that's just how I feel about it personally.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the characters I cared about, I like doing their side story, but I wasn't gonna do it for all the characters I didn't care about, and I just like it's just like set to like the combo, whatever it was called. I just kept doing the same thing every time. I didn't feel like there was any real strategy once you figured it out. Once you knew what to pair together, how to string these like whatever. I can't. It's been a while since I played it, but I just remember there was a way to just like really build up your.
You're talking about 3, right?
And 2, I never
Yeah.
quite. The orb thing always kind of that to me that was a trickier. I had to like be a little smarter about what I did to make that work. Whereas 3, I just felt like I'd gotten such a I could just basically muscle memory my way through a battle and get 2 million damage or whatever. It just felt like it wasn't even hard at that point.
Oh, they're
No, Trileague says that
Trileague is a
Trill wants
villain.
something a bit meatier.
He's a villain, is what he is. He a villain.
Didn't one of the characters say that, like Uni or something, say that after a battle?
Yes.
I was hoping for something a bit meatier or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like every
yeah.
battle would end with that. I also didn't like the switching out classes and like doing every character with every class, and it just felt unnecessary.
There's a lot of freedom, and I don't like. My problem is that like each of the Xenoblade games to me are still like borderline 10 out of 10 titles. So when I say I like one more than the other, it's kind of like, do you like A? Do you like A plus? Do you like a B, or do you like B plus? Like, it's not the same thing.
I prefer the class system of 3 over the blade system of 2, and I think mainly the blade system in 2 just got ruined because of the freaking gacha system. It just shouldn't have had that.
The blade system was annoying.
I understand it. I will respect the gacha complaint. I think that's a fair complaint.
I never really paid
Blade,
attention to the backlash.
I like. My argument is I like that system despite it. That's what I'm saying.
No white edges.
But I recognize the value in.
I absolutely love Xenoblade Chronicles 2. When it came out, I still considered it like one of the top 10 greatest RPGs ever made. I just think it's been dethroned from me by 3, just because I like the characters better. That's really what it is.
3 has a really good ending.
I like the world in 2 kind of better, most likely. The way it looks and everything, the way it's set up. But like in 3, I get to explore with these characters, go on their adventure way more, I feel. It feels less limited.
I will say my main disagreement is the characters. I think the characters are arguably they're not bad, but I don't like them nearly.
Whether
as
you
much.
like the characters or not, I think the writing is objectively better in 3. I think it's just. Maybe it's just geared towards a different audience.
No idea.
I think it's geared towards a different audience.
I can see that, although I think the game really drops the ball at the end of it. But that's a whole other issue.
I don't remember that whole nonsense
Also, I think
of the
3
last.
has worse. I think 3 has worse villains. That's the other problem.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that whole last the world tree, whatever, like the interior of that was so. I got so bored
world
by the
part
end.
of it is the aesthetic, sure, but the actual story is fucking phenomenal.
The story part didn't hit me until the very end, like cinematic thing. Like I didn't know what was going on with dude talking. Like I forget what even happened, to be honest.
It's
somebody triggered something, right? That
no, not following the story.
The story thing with 2 and 1 specifically. 2 and 1 take place at the exact same time. The main villain Zanza, and I'm thinking in Xenoblade 1, and then Klaus. They're 2 halves of the same person. They're just
see. I didn't get any of that.
Xenoblade 2 is the more humane side, whereas Xenoblade 1's is like his pure ego and.
See, I guess
a big thing that I like about 3, I guess, and again, that's just me specific, you know.
Oh yeah,
I feel I don't like when main characters are idiots. Rex is a fucking idiot, okay? So the whole time you're wondering what he's wondering, he doesn't know.
What does that mean? Like he was always like.
And Noah in 3 is like a fucking strategic mastermind. He's intelligent, you know. He can save his friends, keep his bands together, you know, keep people in check the way they need to be in check. And Rex is just like the whole game.
Rex is like the
he falls through the entire game.
The character's perspective, like the player. I mean, like. What is that? They tell Rex something, and he's like, "What does that mean?" Basically, and it's just.
I think he's Jar Jar Binks on the battlefield in fucking episode 1. That's what he is.
But he's also charming in his own way. It's not like he's like a terrible character.
Put this in context. Rex is 15 that's getting thrown into all this shit in the first time. Noah's been going through war consistently his whole life. Like it's just
that's exactly what I mean. That's what I love about it.
He's Anakin Skywalker and the Naboo starfighter. Whoa, what does this do? And blowing shit up.
I will say the thing about
there's a charm to that though. So I totally get it. I get it.
The thing about 3 that like I said, I wish I would have just focused more on the main story instead of did the side stuff while I was playing it, because I think it would have been a little more memorable of the whole story. But I was trying to remember, like, they thought there was no life beyond the battle, right? I can't remember. Did they after you died? Did you respawn or something? I can't remember.
They didn't know they respawned though. They
Oh,
weren't
that's
aware
right.
They were just dying in the battlefield. Like it wasn't like I think it's a plot point later on where it's like, oh, like Uni's having flashbacks to her previous life.
That's what it was.
Before she dies.
That's what it was.
But she doesn't realize that she's died before.
I don't know.
Also, I think we see one of the not villain characters, but one of the antagonistic characters.
I didn't like. You're right.
Get reborn.
The villains were kind of annoying. Those dudes in the like red armor.
Oh no,
stuff.
I don't give a fuck what anyone tells you. Tell me that Jin is not as cool as fucking is the council members that no one fucking remembers.
That was a little
much of the alphabet
for me. That was a little
absolutely agree that because I know I've said it before out loud. I don't know. I think Jin is one of the top 5 coolest villains they ever made. The way he looks, the way he acts, the way he fights. And yeah, the Super Sentai bullshit in 3 is stupid. Like, it's just such a stark contrast with how cool the main characters are to how stupid the villains are.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that whole like they're at a theater talk. Like, what is all this nonsense?
Yeah.
I don't even remember how that what the resolution
like the cutscenes with the council members, it's filmed like it's a fucking Power Rangers thing, and that is stupid. It is.
Yeah, they're just like basically
every
entertainment
has its,
to the
every Xenoblade game has its strengths and weaknesses. I think one has the best like core story, disregarding more like in the lore sense. I think 2 has, to me personally, 2 has the best characters. I think 3 arguably has the more interesting world building. I just don't necessarily like the execution of it. Also, as a fan of, if you're a fan of the other Xenoblade games, when you get towards the latter half of the game and get some character reveals, you gotta appreciate it. And people have been saying in the chat,
I will say I did enjoy that a lot in 2. That was some cool that shit.
And 3,
and if you play 3's DLC, yeah, that's it. That's quality, absolutely.
Yeah, I never did even.
If you just that future redeem was it, dog. That was it. It was so worth it.
Well, hopefully Alma can get some more light shine on her because I thought she was.
Alma's pretty well liked though.
Yeah, she's a good character. She's
pretty well. Yeah, it's pretty well.
She's probably the standout. I think she's honestly the. Unfortunately,
she's kind of like the Noah like character. She's wise.
Of your main party of like the main 3 characters, which Tatsu, her, and what's the girl's name? Lynn, I think. Lynn, I think. Elma is absolutely the standout, and there are a couple of side characters you get that can join your party in X that I think are really good too. But she will always be the standout for that game, like absolutely. And I think X has a really strong ending. I'll give you that.
Celica was a good side character.
Oh, absolutely. Celica was a good character to look at. If you ask me anything about a character, I don't remember a goddamn thing. But I remember.
There was that cool race of like, they had like, not cat ears, but there was like, they had like.
Like, I always said that Xenoblade X has the best side missions in the entire series because it feels like it should have been a part of the main plot. And I'm like,
I agree.
It's so good. It's so good. I mean, I love X, but X's 2 main things were exploration and that, man, them side missions were quality.
I wonder if you're going to still have to like explore a certain percentage to actually do chapters. I kind of think they address that. Like you're not going to have to.
Yeah, because that wasn't. I understood. For those who like exploration, it was great.
That made me stop playing the game for like over a year. I couldn't deal with that shit. I was just walking over the map so long, the entire world. I'm like, I can't find these last 2%. And I looked it up. And even when I looked it up, I couldn't reach the location I needed to go at. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, X had a lot of. I think X's exploration is quality, but locking it behind story progression kind of pissed me off. Where
it's like look at behind character levels. Worst case,
X is the most unforgiving with like you going into areas. Like every Xenoblade game does that thing where, hey, you walk into the early area. Here's a level 80 monster.
Yeah,
and do shit. Sneak around. X was low key obnoxious in the beginning. Like I think in that forest area you go into. There's like at least 6 or 7 creatures that can kill you in like 2 shots, and you're just like,
and you're like, bitch, I'm not close enough for you to fucking come up on me, like,
like X was a lot more unforgiving about it, which made it so the beginning was rough for a bit. Now, once you got to about mid game, you were a lot more comfortable. But like that area in the desert area,
I
holy
spent
shit.
a lot of time just dodging them, like slowly
Yeah,
trying
like,
to creep by.
I think that it's the opposite of how I felt in the other games, where I was like, okay, at a certain
Yeah.
point, I can just dog walk these characters.
Yeah.
And then I didn't find out later until like once you get a skill, then you just feel like Jesus.
Right.
So
you
who's,
just
actually, who's
unstoppable.
actually getting the remaster?
I am.
I think we all are. Well,
God damn.
yeah.
It doesn't
I
feel
would've
right
gone
to
for
not
that
have
first,
every
but-
other Xenoblade game and not have
Yeah.
X on the Switch.
Yeah. That's yeah. I
Yeah,
want the
it's
whole.
more,
collect-
I guess, collector's idea behind it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
I plan
Not a
on
lot
playing
of-
it too, though. I plan on going back through it because.
So this is
I
that
wanna
character
see-
I
That
was
was gonna be
talking
a-
about. You don't get to
that's gonna
add
be
to
a
your
casual-
party, but what
Oh, yeah,
awesome character
and
design.
Russian.
I don't know.
I never got her.
You don't get to add her to the party. It's just this race of warriors.
Yeah.
that you
It's
encounter.
like
Yeah.
a side mission that like, and I'm just like, how is this only a side mission? Like it felt like I had missed the plot. I was like, damn, did I miss out on a cutscene or something?
The furry side boob is real.
Oh, absolutely. 10 out of 10. I will say though, no matter which, except for probably Definitive Edition, almost every DLC we've gotten from Xenoblade has been quality. Definitive Edition's DLC has been, it's something. But 2's is God tier and 3's was fucking amazing. I'm hoping this new section for X is in that same tier line because they haven't really missed with those.
That new skull looks crazy too.
Part of me hopes that Nintendo doesn't go too crazy with the Switch 2 this year because I got to finish some shit on Switch.
What do you mean? You're asking them to chill out on a new console release?
I
Is that
want
what
to
you're
chill
telling
a
me to do?
little bit. Give me a little
No,
space.
wait.
bruh.
What is an
gotta-
acceptable amount of chill for you? Like,
No, I mean-
what's the least amount of titles you'd be fine with?
Well, like 2017 was freaking amazing. Like I don't
Oh yeah,
personally need that. It would be cool to see it again, obviously, but
I mean,
You can chill out a
considering I
little
can
bit.
only start working in a few months, my ideal situation is like a release date in like November, you know? Like, I'll be good with that.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
listen, if they want this to sell well, my mind just makes me go, yeah, you about to get blown out on the latter half. of this
I
year.
think so. I
And
think
you
so.
gonna be mad as fuck. Be looking
I
at your
think we're gonna
wallet,
blow it.
looking at your time clock, and be like, "Fuck, I ain't got no time for this shit."
It might be the
I actually
very
have more
first.
time now, so
It might be the very
what?
first Nintendo console I'm not picking up at launch just because, like, you know, money
Timing-wise,
reasons. I gotta like
yeah.
wait. It falls right at a bad time for me right now. I mean, if they're releasing it within the next 3-4 months, it's gonna be bad. After that, I should be okay.
It all depends. It all depends on what they launch with. Because if they launch with some,
I mean, they're gonna launch with at least 2 games. I feel that are
so
gonna
it
be
comes in
must
May.
buys.
You can't get it. Is what you're telling us? Is that what you're
Yeah,
telling us?
it's gotta be later than that. It's gotta be like
Alright.
5 months out.
If it does come
probably.
in May, we can't let that happen. We can't let that. we can't let that happen.
I'll
And
give
plus,
you- I'll loan you some money. You can pay me back.
May,
Oh,
June, yeah,
some
yeah. We have to
money,
put up a
yeah.
loan. We can't let you rock out like that.
I mean, it's life sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Sell your PS4. You probably get $100 for that. Yours is like the original PS4, ain't it? Like the.
Like,
I got a
you don't need it
Slim.
anymore,
Is
but
it?
the collector and you don't want to sell it, do you?
Not a Pro. I think it's a Slim. I don't remember. It's not the original. I think.
I thought you got like the one that's like half gloss and half.
No.
No, okay.
Half gloss. That's the Xbox, ain't it?
No, the original PS4 had like.
Oh
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a two-tone.
Yeah, I forgot. It did have yeah. It was such a
It was
gorgeous
like-
machine.
I haven't seen one in a long time, but
But even then, my original PlayStation 4 is not going to be here until like mid-May.
that's
So.
true.
That's crazy.
I told you what to do, and do some head banging in your underwear on OnlyFans.
Banging, banging. Oh, that's wild.
He wants you to pop your ass on OnlyFans.
Also, I don't know if his wife would be cool with. Hey, man, that's my cheat.
Yeah, that's a little-
cheats of the world.
Well, there's probably going to be some games that I'll be able to sell because there's games we now have twice. There's no need for that.
Mm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We'll figure it out when it happens.
What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Hashtag this is all mine.
Yeah,
Hashtag this is all mine. Hey, yo, wait a
Oh,
minute.
Has the
What's
the
mine
wife
is mine, and what's
played the
yours is mine,
PS5 at
bro.
all?
but just to play Overwatch.
Mm. What is I looked up a video. It doesn't look like there's much different with Overwatch on PS5.
I actually we're playing the PS4 version on the PS5 because she doesn't like the DualSense. It's too big. It hurts her hands in a specific way. So we're playing the PS4 version of Overwatch, so we can use the PS4 controller on it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I love the DualSense. I think it's a fucking amazing controller. And it doesn't matter anyway, because once in a few months I need to buy a second DualSense so that we can play Split Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna have to use it for that. But
I didn't
she doesn't like the controller.
At first it did. I found it uncomfortable in the first couple weeks of having it, and then I got used to it. Now I pick up the Switch Pro controller and I'm like, this thing feels tiny. Like, what the hell?
Really?
But yeah, you can give us an update because you were bragging a little bit about your Astro's Playroom speed, your times, and then I went and destroyed all four.
Hold my beer.
I went and destroyed.
Man, that's because Robert. Robert for like what is it now? 1-2 years. I know he's been. I beat my records. You guys need to play the Playroom. This and that. So now I could, and like. First try, I'm not joking, like first try, as in the first time reaching the finish, for example, took me like 3 times trying the course. I beat like his records by like 5 seconds, and one of them like 6 seconds. It was like stupid ass records, man. That's what you're proud of? That's nothing. And then Juice destroyed mine. So because even told Robert every course still had room for improvement, and then Juice beat mine. So I still have to go back to beat his because I didn't 100% the game yet. I'm still doing that, but I'm loving it, man. I like those little speed runs and stuff. They're like fun to do. Man, don't brag for like 2 years about his crummy ass records.
I like how now that you beat a record, like it pops up in your feed, like your notifications, like hey, you set personal best. Hey, you're.
I wish more games did. I wish Mario Kart was gonna do stuff like that, where you got time trials. You know, you would see the names of your friends to see the records they had and stuff.
I think it does.
I like that.
But I took.
Robert into the chat.
I spent an hour.
You gonna talk shit about me?
Go, bring that ass here, boy.
But I will say, I thought I had no reason to ever turn on Astro's Playroom again. Like to me. I rinsed it. I was gonna say milked it. I rinsed it. That's a clocked it term.
I think it's both concerning language, but okay.
I've got the platinum trophy. I went and did the extra before Astrobot. They had like a special 4 bots thing, and they were like the most vague, impossible. Like I don't know how people figured out. So I had to look up because I wasted an hour playing this level. I'm like, how do you get this bot? And it's like you have to like step on a seashell, and you hear a little noise, and you have to step on this next one, but it has to be the right one. You got to like step on these 5 in the right order, and if you step on the wrong one, you have to start over. Like, how did people figure this out? Like, so I thought after that, I was like, I literally have no reason to play this. Astrobot's out. I have no reason to ever go back to Playroom. Here I am at work last week, and I'm seeing all this talk, Legend of Retro talking trash about beating Roberts in my time. So I spent about 2 hours on 2 levels, dedicated my most time to 2 levels. The other 2, I was like, yeah, these levels, I did a pretty good time. I beat Retro, but I'm not gonna go further. But the other 2, I beat Retro, and then I just kept going, shaving seconds off. I finally got it down to like, I think I was at 51 when you beat my time, and then yours was at 46, and then I got 45, and I was like, I'm gonna keep playing. I got it to 43.48 or 58. I'm like, all right, he ain't gonna beat this one. So I was like, man, just look at the motivation. I just played this game for 2 hours because you were just talking shit.
And that's definitely like time well spent because I'm gonna beat all those records. Robert did the same thing with what was it? Sackboy's Adventure, I think, on the PS4. He did the same thing. Oh, look at all my great records. I demolished them all. I never heard him cry again. Like, he still hasn't trying to beat them.
He demolished you.
If you beat mine, I mean, I'll just, my hat's off. I don't know if I'll even try to go back and beat yours. Because I watched one video after I set a time of 45 seconds on one where you have to light these fuses at the very end and jump on these stairs and wait for the explosion. This dude,
that is ass.
And I did 45 seconds, and I looked, the world record's 40 seconds. Well, you can just skip that. You jump it. It looks like you should just fall. And for some reason, there's a glitch that throws you back up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there's that 5 seconds. I'm never gonna try that. So I was like, I'm just calling it on there. But it's just great having like Red Knight, and I did that with Forza Horizon 4. That you had these jumps, you jump through a sign, and then it track how far you were in the air before you hit the ground. And I'd come home from work or whatever, and I look, and I was like, damn it, he beat my time. So then I'd find a really fast car, take this awesome path, and I'm like, beat him by like 10 feet. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, and then all of a sudden, he crushed it by like 100 feet. I'm like, what the hell? He finally told me he had to buy this one specific car. And we played, and same thing, Need for Speed Most Wanted. There was like the signs where you'd crash through and get air. And that stuff, like, that's when games can have an extra life, basically, beyond just playing the main stuff. And it's not multiplayer, but it's competitive, and it awakens the competitive side of me. And I'm like, and then I ended up playing Astrobot for another hour or 2 hours after I played Astro's Playroom. I'm like, oh, there's new.
I like that idea, just trying to shave off seconds. You're like, well, you have like the platforms that go like this. You're like, you know what? I can just jump on the edge like some ninja. You're trying all this crazy stuff.
Well,
it's just fun to.
The first
try all
level,
this
I figured out you jump on an umbrella and you go flying, and then if you do the punch in the air, you get just enough extra height to land on this ledge instead of going all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, once I did that, then I started just doing that technique, and I was like, wow, I just like completely shaved like 10 seconds off my initial time. So, but yeah, it's good to see you, Ape, just liking the game. And then also, I think you played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which after seeing you,
that a while.
just seeing your screenshots, I was like, man, it's $40 right now. Should I pick it up?
Oh, you don't
It's
have
a beautiful game, man. It's beautiful.
I mean, it
Like
always was.
I started playing it because I really liked I've played the original Ratchet and Clanks, but then I played the remake, and it just flows so well. Now you have this one specifically in performance mode. Like, it's so smooth, it's so fast, there's so much going on. It's just, I feel Ratchet and Clank is very addictive gameplay, like non-stop, like action movie stuff. What?
You like the remake?
Yeah, he said that's.
I like the remake on the
Watch it.
PS4.
Look at T. Look at T. I see it in his eyes.
That's the game you said was a better platformer than Odyssey.
It's the same game, but that's just sluggish.
It's not
And
the same. Yeah, that's a different experience from what I've
Yeah.
seen.
But I had fun with it. So yeah, I was excited for this one. And when you see, like, that's what I said to Juice. When you see it, like, everything that is on screen at the same time, these giant worlds, I'm like, man, I want Mario to do that. To not have you contained, but have like a world around you and stuff. It's like exciting, just walking around everywhere, stuff to see, to do. It's like non-stop action. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
but that works for Ratchet and Clank because it's like an action run and gun type of game. I don't
had
want
that little
It
bit.
doesn't need, no, I mean, Mario doesn't need to be that actiony. I just want the worlds to look that expensive, and not have like a JPEG background like Mario 64 and shit, Just create a world over there.
Fair.
I think New Donk City was the
64
closest to.
1996.
I think in Odyssey, New Donk City gave me that feeling, like, wow, this is like a huge
Yeah,
environment.
New Donk City did that for me, but I know he be hating on Odyssey, so that's
Damn.
Hey, Odyssey is beautiful and it's fun, man. But yeah, a lot of the world just still felt just so
I knew it.
contained.
Robert said you
900
didn't smash his
900
records
feet.
either in Sackboy. He said somewhere by 0.1 seconds.
Whoa, challenge, motherfucker.
Beaten is beaten, bro.
Wow.
I might have to get my PlayStation Plus membership for a month so I can go back, so I can play and try to beat some of those records, because I had it added to my library. But
You got to be a member to get the.
well, I
leaderboard?
just
Thanks,
added the
Sonny.
game. I added the game to my library through PlayStation Plus, so I can't play it unless I
gotcha.
am a member again.
Or you buy it.
Yeah,
That's what I had
could buy
to
it.
with Sackboy.
That makes sense. But yeah, like, it's just another thing, like seeing somebody, like, I always thought I'd pick up Rift Apart at some point. Just, other games came out and I just kind of forgot about it, to be honest. But
Plus, like, I have like what 2 games now basically, but because I talked about it with Robert about the DualSense, it's like not many games are probably going to use it the way Astrobot would use it, a Playroom, but like Ratchet and Clank uses it a lot, and I love it. When you know when you're shooting and then like you're out of ammo, so you like click click and like struggles. I love that shit. Those adaptive triggers are like fun as hell in games. I think like
Well,
it adds extra immersion to it.
I need to pay. I should have paid more attention in The Last of Us. I finished the PS5 remake, and when you upgrade your weapon's fire speed, I wasn't paying enough attention to see if it, like with Resident Evil Village, where it actually made it easier to pull the trigger, instead of that actually made it so you could fire quicker, because without, in Resident Evil Village, like the shotgun, it was like resistant, so you're trying to pull the trigger again and it's like no, but when you upgraded
I like that, something about that,
when you upgraded the shotgun's rate of fire, then you could pull the trigger quicker, literally, like physically. And I didn't pay attention enough in Last of Us to know if that's what it was doing or if it just let you shoot quicker. But Returnal, and I think Ratchet and Clank, doesn't it have like an alt fire where you press the trigger halfway and then if you pull it all the way? And that's what Returnal has.
That was one weapon that literally had 3 settings, and you do it slowly, for example, to like have like the normal fire, a little bit more for like the faster fire, and then you click through it for like the second fire. It has all kinds of layers. It's crazy.
Yeah, for the alt fire and Returnal, it's like the GameCube controller where you have, and then you click it all the way.
Yeah,
it's that's like, I can't think of a better use for obviously like a shooter game than that. Like, but again, like if I was playing Call of Duty, I wouldn't want to be fighting the trigger in a quick...
Oh, you can turn it off if you want, I totally understand people.
It's fine in like a more single player game and stuff. But for like a fast paced multiplayer, I don't want any restrictions. Let's see. Split Fiction, don't think there will be a better game this generation for PS5. Ended with tears in my stepdad. I mean, does it use the DualSense or not? Or is it just a good game? But yeah, I don't know, like Horizon uses it a little bit, but not, I don't think every game needs to have every like max out adaptive triggers. Like to me, like that would get
it's like a whole thing. It's not just that, it's also the vibration is just nuts really in a dual
like
sense.
The raindrops when you're in the level with the rain.
Yeah, exactly. You got like the raindrops and you feel it somehow, and it adds the sound to it. And like even in Ratchet and Clank, when you walk over like a metal surface compared to like sand, it feels and sound different. Like that's the shit I was expecting from the Joy-Cons, but we never got that. Like, yeah, it's like HD like vibration and shit, man. I never felt an Ice Cube in a single goddamn Switch game. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and not every game uses it, unfortunately.
That's like a scene. Sorry, that's like a scene in Ratchet and Clank, a cutscene where the villain walks around the table and he strokes the table with his finger, going around the edge, and you feel that in the controller that he does that. It's cool.
Yeah, I don't have a game. I don't think there's any game I've played where the cutscenes do that, but like Elden Ring doesn't even use a single feature of the DualSense. Like literally doesn't do nothing. The vibration, nothing. And it's like, I would hope you at least take advantage of like the better vibration and stuff, but I don't even know if that game uses vibration. Not every game's going to, not every developer is, but
especially ports.
Yeah. But it is like, to me, when I don't have it, like when I go from playing like Ratchet and stuff like to a game that doesn't use it, then it's like noticeable to me. I'm like, man, it just feels like it is a little disappointing. But after a while, obviously I'm not thinking about it the whole time. Like I was playing Prince of Persia, I wasn't thinking about, oh wow, this doesn't use any of these features, like I was just enjoying the game. But when it's utilized well, it's definitely really cool.
Like you said, Prince of Persia.
I'd ask Terrell what he thought of it, the Astro's Playroom, but
I'm be real, the Xenoblade is gonna have my full attention.
Has it?
Yeah,
that doesn't really use the.
It uses it a little bit, like the rain. That when you're in certain areas, you can feel the raindrops on the controller. Like it's a very
okay. Yep.
Or even I'm currently in the desert area, and they have those monsters that will swim in the desert. Mm-hmm. You can feel the vibration of it coming through the desert. And if you turn, depending on where you turn, the positioning of the vibrations will change from where it is behind you. Oh, absolutely, because there's a way to dodge them.
Once you get the counter down, they're pretty easy to kill, but
yeah,
they can be annoying.
did the plot mission in that. Technically, I have the access to go to. I think the next area is like a space area, supposedly. But I've been doing. Go ahead.
I think that's the end game. If you go talk to Adam, I think that's the end game after if you've done the Great Desert. But you can go back to all the areas and do any side quests. Go back
It feels like okay. Didn't realize that. I guess that makes sense because of the plot thing about how.
But if you haven't upgraded, or I don't know if you've noticed when you do certain missions or if you pick up certain collectibles, there's a little meter on top of the screen that flashes with what's your companion girl's name that fixes stuff.
Oh, what's her name? I know you're talking about though.
But if it's not at 100%, you do the final mission, then you miss out on a whole extra area of the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get it the first time?
Yeah, I didn't even know it. I was just doing a lot of the side quests and stuff, and
that's what I'm doing. I think they introduced fishing when I first got to that area, and I was like, oh, well, fuck. I guess I might.
The fishing does kind of use the adaptive trigger.
Yeah, it does. Cool. Even the different guns when I forget the droid, the drone that's with you. Like each of the guns, like shotguns, you can feel the depression in your triggers when you shoot it. It takes you a minute, so it's I'll get the Astro. Astro will be the next game I play after Stellar Blade.
You're gonna go right to bot? Because once you play Astro Bot, Playroom's gonna be.
I'll probably do Playroom then Astro Bot, but
Playroom's really literally 2 to 3 hours if you just get through the levels.
Nah, yeah, that's fine. I just wanna. I've been enjoying Stellar Blade a lot. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dog. It's just been a fun experience.
Once you get the counter down and get some of those extra moves upgraded, it does become.
That game, that Great Desert felt like an uptick in damage because I was like, "Yo, why are these fuckers hitting so hard?" All of a sudden, so I need to get back. I started using all my other stuff. Like I haven't used the Taki mode much, and I need to do that. It's just
That was a pretty good boss fight.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I was like, it was great.
Cool.
Sorry.
All right. So what else we got? What retro? You got anything else you missed last week? I guess you probably...
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's talking about. I'm still gonna get used to the timing and everything because last week was like Mario Day and shit. Even so, I didn't even know what you guys talked about.
You traitor.
And we had quite the time coming up with a bingo card list for the Switch 2 Direct. So that was pretty fun. We'll see. I thought of something yesterday too, and I didn't write it down. I was like, man, it was something I thought would probably be better to switch out one of the other things, and then I completely forgot what it was. But
no, Joe's, how could
we got one? We got next week podcast, and then the next following week will be the Switch 2 Direct on that Wednesday. So it's getting close.
So are we doing the podcast that Monday?
I don't think we should. Well, let's see I think next week we'll just do our final predictions and stuff for the Switch 2 Direct, and then we'll just do a podcast on Wednesday after the Direct at some point.
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna say the live reaction thing. You're not streaming that. You just want us to be in the call together, right?
I was gonna stream it, but
okay, that's fine. I just want to make sure.
I don't know who's gonna want to watch our reactions instead of just watching the Switch 2 Direct themselves.
No.
You know,
what happens is you watch it after, but you want it recorded to see.
We could record it, or we could just do it live. Well,
I mean, I'm gonna stream mine. I'm gonna tell you right now.
We know the link. We don't know none of that yet, do we?
No, we won't get that until maybe the end of
few days before.
It's gonna be like 5 minutes, and it's gonna talk about liquid cooling. Like that's it.
I think that'd be the craziest April Fool's joke I've ever seen. Yeah, I do think it's a little interesting that they're doing it the day after April Fool's, because somebody in the back is gonna be like, "Hey, listen."
They should have did it.
Somebody wanted to do that shit on Tuesday, and they're like, "Nah, we might want to move this."
There's gonna be a lot of fake stuff releasing that day. People,
right?
It would crack me up. It's like, "Oh yeah, we here's the console, huh? Wait a minute." So what are you doing?
I gotta say, I'm really excited for this Switch 2 Direct. Like this, in the last couple weeks, it's really hit me. Like I'm just giddy thinking about it. Like
it hasn't hit me yet. I'll say that.
It hasn't hit me yet. I think I'm going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
Had a pretty big transition,
that's right.
personally and career-wise. So maybe that's what's affecting my enjoyment so far. But
I mean,
I'm
I'm
sure I'll
pretty
get
sure
there.
like that's what it is. It's the same thing for me. Like you just mentioned Switch 2. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be coming up, bro. I totally
Yeah.
had forgot. Like I'm not even gonna lie.
you've been really busy.
You've been going through it, so I think we get a pass. I mean,
Yeah.
my change hasn't been as big as yours, but
Yeah, that's a hell of a change, man.
Changes are changes, man.
Big change contest. You lose, I will lose, man. Like, you got it, King.
My only change was that I started buying retro games. That's my biggest change.
he got bit by the retro.
And then
bug.
Robert's like, "Oh, Scalar's not gonna be worth it to you. You're gonna be over this retro phase." I'm like, "Dude, I'm playing Tecmo Super Bowl like every other day for my season with the Detroit Lions. Like, I'm gonna keep playing this game. Like,
you playing on CRT though, right?
No, I'm playing on my monitor with
you are
just a cheap composite to HDMI converter. I don't notice any major lag. It just doesn't look very good. Like I'm playing I play Mario Brothers, and like I said, I got to World 5-3. Like I'm not noticing any issues there. It just doesn't look very good. Like the scalers, I saw direct feed footage. And the thing that's holding me up is there's so many options for Super Nintendo for cables. Like you can buy you can buy a component cable that internally takes the RGB signal and converts it to component cables. You can buy a RGB SCART cable for the Super Nintendo, and then the scaler has a RGB SCART input. But I don't really see much of difference when they do.
That's why I started, but then I moved on.
But then they show. I got a 1-chip or a 2-chip, sorry, and then they show a 2-chip with a RGB mod, and it looks like crystal clear. And I'm like, I'm not RGB mod. I'm not modding my original Super Nintendo. So I'm like, do I buy a second one? They got one right now at the place for $90. And I was like, do I? Because I think you can mod the original, but the 1-chip is way clearer. Like, it's sharper. And I'm like, God damn it! Like I don't know what to do, so I just got to decide on that.
I love the top loader because NES, because you don't have to worry about all the fucking blinking and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But they went backwards with the hookups. They went to
they got rid of the AV, didn't they?
Yeah, they got rid of AV and they went to UHF. What was that little fucking
the little
thing
two
called?
little wire? Yeah.
They went. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? So.
And the Super Nintendo Mini, you have to mod, but the original 2-chip has RGB support, but it just has the processing is just not as good, the chip, so it's just a little bit blurry.
I think it's like the Junior. I think it's called the Junior.
I think it's the Mini. That's what I just watched a video they called it. They were breaking down.
Well, I mean, that's what people called it, but I think it's called a Super Nintendo Junior or some shit.
So yeah, I'm like getting in this world. I was like, I want to just buy the cable I buy. I want it to be the best. But then there's a lot of videos, but they don't show like really good footage. And then they're like showing with scan lines on and stuff. Like I'm not a scan lines person.
As much as I'm definitely a kind of purist retro guy, I don't care for scan lines. I don't care for artificial scan lines.
Yeah,
put it that way.
So like,
there's not you don't always have it like all the time.
You
like,
can
the artificial stuff. It looks fake. It's like that's not what it was like.
Yeah.
That's like exactly when people made like, oh yeah, we made like an 8-bit game. Hey, look, I love Shovel Knight. Okay, it's like an 8-bit. We made 8-bit game like Shovel Knight. It's like, but it's not an 8-bit game though.
If anything.
Yeah, it's like 8-bit meant something very specific. You creating a pixel game, sure.
Yeah, it's more like 16-bit. I think it feels like an 8-bit game. That's where
aesthetically they made it look like 8-bit kind of limitations, but it's obviously way clearer. But at the end of the day, like I have no good way to hook any of my old systems up right now. So I got to get something, and the scaler seems like the best way to go. Like
you got to get a scaler.
I think what you should do is you burn down your cinema room and you just make a game room out of it.
Well, I'm gonna plan on doing it behind me here. So, and the nice thing about the retro tank, like the 5X, is that they do. I guess they do really well, like on OLED TVs. Like people say that's like the best. And I was like, I could just get like a 42-inch and have my PC gaming on that and my retro gaming on that. So
I mean, that's the thing. There's so many options. it's like how far do you want to go? Because
Yeah.
obviously retro Tink's at the top, but it's super expensive, right?
Well, for the
So
Super Nintendo, there's a cable, the Rad 2X, that
mhm,
the cable, it's like an HDMI. It goes into your Super Nintendo like the port,
mhm.
and then it takes the RGB signal with the little chip thing, and then it turns it to an HDMI signal, but it's like a mini HDMI on one end, which obviously you have to buy a separate cable.
Yeah.
But it only works for Super Nintendo. You hook that up to the N64, it doesn't work because the N64 doesn't
Forget
have
about it.
RGB unless you mod it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that has really good results, but it's only for the Super Nintendo. I was like, well, I still have the
Robert
NES.
just calling out Juice, man.
It's like,
Juice got no retro history.
I mean,
Oh,
I mean, I don't. The reason I don't never really went back, like I said last week, I turn on my old system and it's just the games I already had and I rinsed. Like the idea now for me is to get games I didn't have, so
you
like
didn't have,
they're
right?
new. Like
You're
yeah,
discovering shit. That's
if
the cool shit.
I do want to replay some of these. Like I just had this sitting here. Well, I know Retro hates this
Yeah,
game.
boy.
You know,
That's the easy go back
I could I could start that game over, but like my all my N64, my Wii U games, it's like yeah, I rinsed these games. So like, but I never had an NES. Like I mean, I had one at my house, but it wasn't mine, and it's been 30 something years. I hadn't played the original Tecmo Bowl probably since I don't know 92, like on an NES. So like that's cool, but I'm not gonna leave my NES hooked up all the time and just play games all the time. It's like,
Right.
but I want an option to be able to hook these things up, and when I do want to play them. But then you go down the
Options are
GameCube
out there,
rabbit
but
hole, and then you have the actual like the Carby and the other ones that you plug right into that digital port, and it's like
Mhm.
it gives you great
Excellent.
excellent HDMI. Takes somehow the GameCube component cables didn't have the audio, did they? I feel like I had to plug in the old
They-
because I
The
remember it
GameCube component
was
cables.
just the three
I
cables.
never had those, so I don't know.
Then you used your original, the Super Nintendo one with the little notch. It's the little flat one with the little notch. And I actually cut the yellow cable off it because it was just dangling for so you had to have that plugged in for audio, and then you had your component. It was just the video for the GameCube. But obviously there's sound goes through it because those adapters just plug into the digital out and they give you audio
Yeah,
and
I
video.
get audio. I mean, you know now.
But then it's
get
like
audio from them.
N64 doesn't sound like there's a lot of great options unless you mod it to
There isn't. You got to mod. You got to mod your N64. There's not a lot of great.
But that's
options.
where you like the Switch Online, you might not like the extra crispy, like clean look to it, but
Yeah.
when I
For me, it's too clean.
when I
It's
played
just too
Star
clean
Fox
for me.
64 and Perfect Dark, I'm like, holy shit, like this looks like a remaster. This is just the N64. I know it's an emulated version, but
Yeah.
Perfect Dark looks great. Other than like the textures on Joanna Dark's face, it's like doesn't look great, but the environments and stuff looked really sharp.
If I ever want to play, especially Perfect Dark, if I want to play like a version that's like super clean and whatnot, control and all that stuff, I just play the
Rare
Xbox
replay,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something new for me. Like I said, I used to turn my
Yeah, like if
systems
you're
on.
going back to N64, like, or excuse me, if you're going to N64 kind of for the first time, maybe you knew a little bit about it. Like the Switch, Switch Online is a great resource for it. Me personally, because I've been playing my N64
Yeah.
since it came out, I can't go to that super clean kind of look because it just throws me off. It's too clean.
And
Like
that's
I bought
where-
Turok. What was it? Turok Remastered 1 and 2. Turok 1 and 2 on Switch, and I can't play it. The frame rate is too good. It's too clean. It don't feel right for me when I'm playing it. So I had to go back to the original ones.
That's like what the Ocarina of Time 3D remake for the 3DS. It's like, yeah, it's great and it's cool and I like the 3D, but it's way too saturated. It doesn't look like Ocarina of Time, man. It is
Which
not
one?
the same. The Ocarina of Time 3D remaster, they redid it for the 3DS.
I'm okay with that one, because the funny thing about I think Ocarina of Time for me, again, I played the game every year, so I knew what it looks like, but in some ways it looks the way you remember. even though like it never looked that good as far as like the character models and all that kind of stuff. And it controls pretty much as close as it can. Obviously, the N64 version. I can't go to Majora's Mask though. That version, the 3D Majora's Mask 3D, I can't do it because
See, that's funny though.
they fucked up the controls. They fucked the controls up on the Deku.
So I agree. The swimming and stuff, like they made all that weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
They made all the swimming weird and stuff, but the one thing that I like is, again, in both games, the 3D is just amazing, and in Majora's Mask, the 3D is even better. But that oversaturation.
Handbook, I do like that. They
yeah.
The what do you call it? The quality of life stuff.
That is absolutely amazing.
It's great. That's great.
And that oversaturation just does work for Majora's Mask. It just doesn't work for Ocarina of Time, I feel. I mean, both are still great, both versions. But yeah, I just want to say I understand that. You know, it needs to be like original. It needs to be jank and jittery and washed out and shit, because else it's not the same.
They're beautiful in 3D though. I do love the 3D effects in both of them.
I was playing Killer Instinct on the Switch Online, and you know, I wouldn't say like that was my favorite, but I did play quite a bit of that back in the day. It didn't take me too long to remember how to do Orchid's 20-hit combo. I had to look up, forgot how to do the Ultra.
Orchid.
I was doing it, but I just didn't know it only worked with the medium, I think medium kick or medium punch, and they have to be flashing red. I forgot that part of it. And I was like, man, like I spent like an hour playing Killer Instinct on Switch Online.
Yeah.
And I was like,
again, for you, that works, Switch Online, as far as N64
and it looks pretty clean.
Because you didn't use your N64, right?
Well, no, this was
As
a
I
Super
always
Nintendo
say.
one, but yeah.
But there's a lot of games that I love on N64 that aren't on Switch Online and probably would never come to
there's
it.
There's not that many N64 games on there, to be honest, or Super Nintendo, really.
But here comes GameCube, apparently.
Yeah.
Have you heard?
That was one of the things I think. That was one of the ones I was thinking we could add, like GameCube games would get added to Switch Online for the bingo.
Oh, so the bingo card?
But, you know, playing Killer Instinct on the Switch Online is cool and all, but not as cool as this black cartridge. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
I love that one, man.
Somehow this survived my cousin's house. Like, this isn't, like...
That's just clean.
Like, the stickers...
I still have my Killer Cut CD that came with it, too.
Oh, yeah!
I just wish the Super Nintendo version just could have been a little bit closer. I know it's the arcade.
The arcade? Yeah, we all did. Because we all thought that was what we were getting, but no,
when it came out, when I bought it originally, I didn't know there was an arcade game, so I just played Killer Instinct. And to me, I'm like, holy shit, they use like Donkey Kong's graphics, but for like a fighting game. And so to me, it all looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it still looks great, but just...
You didn't get like the cinematic character.
Playing in the arcade as much as I did, I was like, it ain't quite good.
But now looking at the arcade game doesn't look nearly as good as I remembered it.
It looks dated as hell now. But
it's got like 3D kind of backgrounds, but it's still 2D fighting plane.
Because T mentioned the arcades, and we're talking about retro gaming. I watched Pixels 2 days ago.
Oh
the Adam Sandler movie
for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I was expecting garbage. It was actually kind of entertaining.
Oh man! $80 million.
A lot of stuff in there.
$80 million picture. Did you see $80 million on the screen? Because I didn't. Good God! What's his name? Who's the star? What's his name? I keep wanting to call him Ben something.
I never watched that movie, so.
What's his name?
Who are you talking about? Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler, yeah. Adam Sandler. He's in one of my favorite episodes of Red Letter Media when they talk about Jack and Jill.
That scam.
That one. That scam. Yeah, hey, I can't hate on him. He's scamming the shit out of Hollywood. I give him that.
How do you rate this cover compared to the European one?
I mean,
why do you think? Get it?
You can barely see the crease right here.
One. Like the only thing that's better of that game is I think that has the lenticular cover that you guys have. But like the box itself, man, the European box is art. It's creepy. You have
Yeah,
like
I
people
like-
like hung in the
Yeah, I
background
feel
and
like
shit.
it.
I just wish it had more colors. Like, isn't it like
It's green.
one color? Is it green?
It's green because it contrasts with the purple and stuff.
Yeah.
I have the posters too. I mean, if it ever gets here, but like I love that
think the
green and
artwork
the
is better.
creepy artwork and stuff.
Let me
Yeah.
look up the box art because I knew it was different. Yeah, that's the green. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's so many like hidden details in there that are
you
just like
can't mess with that
freaky.
lenticular.
as
Yeah,
hell.
that
like
is-
you said, that lenticular.
Yeah.
That is
cover art
better.
on the.
I still want to buy that your Majora's Mask because, like, you know, yeah, like I feel we have the best box art, but your cartridge is like so good.
and that shit is
Lenticular art,
going-
come on.
The
I'll
price
sell
of
you
that is
this.
going up.
Oh, wow. Watch him.
$500.
Watch
It's
him.
yours.
Yeah,
No.
I was gonna say your thing is probably worth like 1,000, man. 500 seems like
No, to
like
me,
a steal.
it's not really worth that much. It's
Jimmy
not.
Wright says, I heard NSO was adding Wii as well.
Oh, what the
Slow
runner?
down, NSO. Slow down, yeah.
Yeah, I
You
heard adding
Why don't
Wii
you
U
add
at
some more
4K.
games? Why don't you add some more damn games for the other systems first?
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Yeah,
How
that's
you
what
gonna
I'm
have
saying.
Wii
Slow
if you don't
down.
have GameCube? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
You can't have Wii. without
Wii, I
GameCube.
mean, you're gonna cause that's some work.
I was gonna ask you.
Is this what
T,
your
'cause I
cartridge
kept-
looks like? Retro?
Oh wow, what is?
Oh, you don't have the lenticular.
That's not the lenticular
It
one.
isn't?
No.
Is there
Hold
one
on.
with like a 3D? It's gold at least.
And now he's gonna go get it.
Yeah.
Look at
He's
this.
gonna go
This
get it.
manual has kind of
I'm
lame
gonna-
too. It has like an N64 shadow like
That
background.
is kind of lame.
Yeah, I
He's
bought
gonna go
this
get
off
it. He's
eBay.
gonna go embarrass everyone. I hate it.
Yeah, I didn't
What
get
happened?
the collector's edition. I bought it off eBay, and it was in mint condition.
Oh, T, did you go? Yeah, look, he went and go and got it. I knew he was gonna fucking do this.
It's a
Yeah,
3D
that's
move.
cool.
sexy shit.
Yeah,
man.
if that's
Yeah.
cool.
This is my original day one game here.
I was
I-
not interested in this game and didn't buy it at launch.
And the gold, I like the gold on this one too better than the Ocarina of Time, because Ocarina of Time's the gold on it. It's almost like it's kind of spray painted on, where this looks like they fucking made it in gold.
I
and
think
just-
yours
I
has
know
the
what you
same
mean.
thing that mine has, like the different variations of the color. You can kind of see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I preferred the shiny NES gold, but that does seem to, looking at buying it, there's a lot of blemishes.
I mean,
on
our
those.
Zelda cards aren't even gold
None of
Yeah,
them.
there's a lot.
for the N64.
Oh,
No, there's tons of just gray carts for Zelda.
well, there's a person
There's
selling
gray-
a gold NES Zelda and a gray Link, Zelda 2 Link. What is it called?
I don't think there's
Matches
any
the
gray Majora's Masks. I think they're all gold. Because I don't remember seeing a gray Majora's Mask one, but Ocarina of Time definitely has just gray carts.
Man, these plastic cases are kind of hard to get open.
Blizzard, I wish Breath of the Wild. Yes, and Tears of the Kingdom were gold. They could have made gold carts for
I
those.
know.
Yeah.
I do have this though. This
Want
is
it
the
all
day.
gold,
This is
ladies
the
and
launch.
gentlemen.
This is the
Mm.
T Hat was showing that in your video. You didn't. You have
Yeah, I
to.
had to,
you
I had to rebuy it because I lost that in the damaging flood.
And then my most
Um,
prized possession that I own right here. This is mine. Bought it with my own money. Rode my bike 5 miles to the store to buy it and kept it.
Always the best when you got a story behind it.
It's
Like
not
my
the launch
Star
version
Fox
because it comes
64.
with the hint book thing, which actually helped me. But it's complete in box, and it was mine from I'm the only owner. And that's the thing. I would even say like I want that buried with me. I know it'd be a waste, but that if I was gonna be buried with something, it'd be that.
I mean, that's.
Sure, we'll make sure
I
you
can't
get
be
buried.
buried.
Yeah.
I don't plan on
Shut
being
up!
buried.
You already have the coffin
so-
picked out. Get out of here, dog.
I don't plan on being buried, so you can't bury nothing with me.
Yeah, I
unless
was
you wanna
thinking
light it up.
cremation, but
Yeah, I'm trying to be financially responsible for the fam.
Yeah, financially and environmentally responsible.
I don't, yeah,
But
fuck
like,
it.
would
I'm
you
dead. I
honor
don't care
somebody's
about
like,
it.
man, let's say by time I pass, this is like $500. You know, they'd be like,
I would honor
You're
it.
gonna bury
I would just
that
be
They
boy?
would,
like,
you don't need this shit. I will just put this right over here.
Yeah, what does it matter? He's dead.
I would honor
You,
it.
you put
I
it in
wouldn't
the
be mad.
coffin, and then you look, it's in there, and then you remove it again. You know, it was in there. Like,
I wouldn't do that to my kids or whoever had to deal with that.
Yeah, it's like
Nah.
that's like a form of grave robbing. Let me not play with that. That's how I feel about it. Like, I'll leave it alone.
So I got-
He don't need this. He won't know.
I'm not. Hey, listen, I'm not stupid. I'm
I'll come
hey,
back from the dead. Where's my Super Nintendo cartridge?
nah, he got it, King. I'm gonna let him keep it. He can keep
I
it.
was
Just
trying
don't
to
touch
haunt
me.
motherfuckers. Zelda, motherfuckers. Zelda.
I don't need that trauma in my life, bro.
Charles gonna get
Respect
buried
me.
with his life-size pyro doll.
No.
What is she about? 5'4"?
While he's buried
I don't
in
even
it.
have a pirate doll anyway. What doll are you talking about?
Is
I don't
she-
have a doll?
How tall is she? And like,
What? Oh, pirate normally? She's like.
You know you get stiff when that rigor mortis set in.
Oh, hey, listen. Oh, that's the rigor mortis that does that. Oh, I thought that was just me.
He's balls deep in that pirate dog. Look at this shit. He's gone.
how much does pyro? I just searched. She's 5'2". They're supposedly 5'2".
she's short. Yeah, she's short.
Somebody
that's her
actually
mic
searched
is
for
on.
how much does pyro weigh. Like,
It's probably like one. I'm hoping it's like 170, 180.
she's 5'2". Isn't she heavier because she's a blade? Yeah, 200 plus kilograms.
Oh, also remember the cutscene.
Hey,
There is
what
a
is this
reason. That's
kilogram?
right. There
What
is
this-
a reason in the game. She's like
what is
super
this
heavy.
European nonsense?
Yeah, she's like
Kilogram?
super fucking heavy. So she's probably like
200
something.
kilograms is probably.
What is her LBS? Is what I need to know.
I'm thinking like probably almost 300 pounds.
Yeah, because kilograms is lower. Yeah, so 200 kilograms would be like 300 pounds probably.
She's probably around
Dang.
300 pounds. Is what I'm thinking. I don't know if I can date a
it's
woman heavier than
300
me.
pounds. Pyro, what?
She's like
Oh,
super
yeah.
heavy because she's a blade. Remember?
There's a yeah.
heavy
there's
Oh,
a-
Okay,
there's a-
I thought you guys were like she's super heavy because she's well equipped. I was like,
No.
what?
No,
Is it because she's that special
50 pounds
blade?
over here, 50 pounds
Yeah,
over
she's
there.
special- yeah, because there's the cutscene where Rex tries to lift her up, and he's like, "Damn!" And she's like, "What did you say?" Poppy's like, "I can lift an elephant."
Mhm.
I'm like, man, what the fuck?
Lenny,
I
I
love
see you, man. I see you. What you
He's
doing
been
over there?
problematic in chat and told him about this shit. Bro. Don't do it.
I got the wink face.
No, look at this man emoji privileges. Damn.
Turn
bro.
off this man's emoji privileges now.
Absolutely. These moderators.
Imagine if Nintendo released a gold cartridge, limited edition, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the
it would
Kingdom.
be sold out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to get it. But
Oh my god. I gotta go. I gotta go grab these full edition games. They secretly just throwing out there.
yeah, that's
or,
something else
like-
I wanted to bring up. You guys were talking about like
Mario Kart and who else? I know Mario Kart and
Smash Ultimate. Can you get?
Odyssey.
Probably not with the DLC
I don't know.
though.
I don't know if Smash Ultimate has it yet, but I know Odyssey has all the DLC, the Luigi stuff, and probably the VR stuff. Like
Mhm.
nobody cares about it. The Labo VR stuff. Poor Labo.
I think it's funny because you said it. I think it's funny when you play Astro's Playroom and you go into like the PlayStation room. They call it PlayStation Labo. Like
Yeah,
every time.
it's called Labo.
PlayStation Labo.
Yeah, every time.
I tell you what, like that's a good collectible. Even though I don't have this like long legacy with PlayStation. Like a game that has a collectible that becomes this like awesome show, like room with all these 3D objects to like walk through, like that. I like collecting all the stuff needed on like a Mario level to 100% it, but to have like an actual place to go to look at it. What like Smash?
Yeah, that's cool.
Was it Melee that had or was it Smash 4 where it had
What?
the 3D figures? That
The table, that's Melee, I think.
Yeah, it's Melee.
Because isn't that where the
Yeah, that's
idea of
Melee.
Amiibo
Well,
must have come from? Because like I would,
yeah,
Well,
because some
'cause they're
of people
toys in
look
the
straight
game.
up like, yeah.
because then you could look
They're
at your
toys come to life in the
collection
game.
and they would all be there
Yeah,
like in 3D.
They went away from that though. I think N64 is the only one that that had that
Well-
motif. Smash
Oh,
X
no,
4
because
Melee kind of
Melee had the cutscene
Yeah.
where the character of Mario, the little figure
They just made
drops
it
and then
more
it
like
Yeah,
becomes
that's
real.
true. That's true.
I feel like Smash 4 had
Melee is
something
probably the last one.
where it was like a whole board.
Oh no,
with
yo, I
all
know what
your,
you're talking about. It is, but you're right. It is Smash 4.
all
The
your
big ass
characters. Yeah,
Yeah, as you get them, they would go on your table.
and you could look
and it's
at
like-
them,
Yeah, it was like your trophies.
Oh, that's right.
and then there would be like,
I'm
I'd be
just
like,
wrong.
it'd be like, where's Waldo? Like I'd be zoomed out, like where's Lucina? Where's, because I think it would be different every time you looked at it. They'd be in a different place. I'm gonna look. I think I
I
got.
didn't look at those as much as I did.
Look through my.
Yeah, I didn't look at
Smash.
those as much as I did as the Melee ones.
Because then you could take photos with the three with your, to give an
Yeah, I know
example.
why you like looking at the Melee ones, do you?
This is what you could do with
Lord.
the. I will share my screen here. You know, it took forever to take one photo, but then you could take the 3D like things and arrange them, and then like put them in a
Yeah.
background. I was trying to make.
Yeah, it's not
I was trying to
quite
make.
what I meant.
What's her face
What?
look tiny. Can't think of her name.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
4.
But I feel like there was like a
Midna.
OBS
What did you
disconnected.
say? Oh, did we lose him?
What?
OBS just disconnected, but now it's reconnected.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know who this is. That's a Xenoblade. I forget her name.
I don't. hold
Then
on.
you had a wonderful 101 character. And
Yeah.
I don't know who this
Wonder
is with the
Pink.
broom.
That's a
Roll?
roll. That's
Roll?
roll from Mega Man.
Roll? What are you
Yeah.
Oh,
doing?
that's Mega Man.
Yes.
Dude, that's another
I
series.
think the chick is
Wait, what are we
last
talking
story.
about? I can't see.
You don't see the picture?
Oh, there it is.
Mega Man, that's a series I forgot. I could
Oh, yeah,
pick up
Roll.
some Mega Man games on NES.
You didn't know where Roll was, man. It's sad,
He
bro.
don't play Mega Man like that.
I played
You should at least know the character. Come
I
on
played
now.
Mega Man 2.
His name is Rockman. Rock and Roll. Jesus Christ.
Rockman X.
Well, that's true. Rockman X. So there's.
I don't remember this girl on the right's name. The bird girl.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
Rito.
Lincoln is, and all the women he was surrounded by. One of which being his sister. But we don't talk about that.
I don't know what I was thinking with some of these arrangements.
I think you were just on some chaos shit.
I never did
Okay.
any of that stuff.
There's-
That's like crazy.
Yeah, I did. Brawl, I thought had a variation.
I didn't do as much
Ganon.
as Juice did clearly, but I messed around with this a little bit.
I didn't do it nearly as much. Unfortunately.
Hmm.
Okay, we're just. Why is it like a weird shot of Lucina?
I don't know.
It's just a weird shot of her.
He's like, let me close this shit before the weird shit pops up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You start getting
Well,
ass
rated
skirt
shit up
shots,
Here's
there.
you're
one.
like,
I think
yo.
I was probably playing Retro Death here.
Well, I get exposed.
I don't know why. I just like she looked so high off the ground.
I think
Yeah.
Retro was ready to clap them cheeks. That was before he met his girl. That was before
Look
he
at the
met his
fur
girl.
on him. Like, it
Donkey Kong.
looks better than Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate Donkey Kong, doesn't it?
Ah,
It
I don't know
does.
if I don't know if I agree with that.
Getting ready to beat them bongos to sleep.
Man, I can't wait for Donkey Kong and Mario Kart 9, man. He looks good.
Look at that beautiful screenshot.
You already got Mario
Aren't you
Kart.
supposed to buy just
Mario
a copy of
Kart
that
X.
game because what happened? I forget. What was the bet y'all had that you had to pay
I
him?
think I let him off.
Oh, look how gracious you are. You let him off, and we bought you a console. Y'all ever say just ain't nice?
Yeah, you
Y'all
got
ever
a
say
good
just
deal.
ain't
Look
nice?
at this. I posted that to
fuck?
Miiverse.
You had to post it to me, bro.
Yeah.
That's another rumor.
Didn't
Neighbors
her
coming
ass
back,
get
bitch.
nerfed in
There's a lot of
certain-
rumors right now.
Well, of course, it's new console time in theory.
I wonder
crap.
why.
T, I was gonna ask you, but it's kind of late in the podcast because I kept hearing some recent talk about Xbox and their next console and how they're working on it. We might hear something about it this year, and I was just like,
I don't think it's gonna be this year.
I'm like, why? Not saying they don't.
The Xbox is gonna be 6 years old when its new console comes out.
Yeah, it's
Xbox Series X, and
Is it-
obviously they're ramping down from trying to even sell the fucking thing. So
Dude, sometimes I even
they're-
forget
trying
they
to sell it?
exist.
they were trying to sell it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
I wonder if PlayStation's gonna feel forced to.
still sold better than a Wii U.
'Cause honestly,
Feel
neither-
forced to do what?
If PlayStation is gonna like feel like they need to match the release date
Why
because
would
honestly, they don't
to?
need.
I mean,
They
that's
don't
what they
need to,
did with
but
the Switch. Is why those two
I-
You're
systems
so
are
far ahead,
garbage.
it's kind of goofy.
well, I think you don't want to give up any ground.
I know,
And
but
the last time Xbox beat everybody to market, it was 360, and they did pretty well with that bad boy.
They did,
So
but
I
they
don't think
also still
you
came in
wanna-
third in that year too.
'cause I think Sony's.
Yeah, but did they come in
It wasn't a
third?
crazy. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because they sold 3 million at the end of the life cycle and nobody cared. I don't count that.
No.
Everybody was on
look.
Xbox that generation. Everybody was on 360.
Listen.
Everybody was on
It
360.
was a
that
very
gen.
close race for second place.
Uh,
It was a very close race. It was a very close race between PlayStation and Xbox. The point I'm
Everybody was
making
buying
is-
the Xbox version of most of those games. I mean,
The
that
point I'm-
Xbox
the-
360
well, yeah,
ran
but-
that.
Is
No,
the best version.
No, look. Xbox is a very, very strong start game release and like sales wise for the 360. They fucked up about midway through the console life
I mean,
cycle.
there is a reason Yoshida recently came out and said PS3 almost killed the company, and
Yeah.
because it did. They were on the brink. So
That was probably one of the most miraculous turnovers I'd ever seen in my
Xbox
life.
fumbled the ball because they started chasing that Kinect bullshit. That's what hurt them at the end. That's
Yeah,
why
absolutely. Well,
They
that's
They wanted that Wii money, man.
They also
they
were
wanted the
losing.
Wii money.
They also
They
were
sold
losing-
them bitches too. They sold 20 million of them motherfuckers. So
No, they did. It didn't do
so
bad by any
They didn't,
means.
yeah, but they got the wrong idea out of that shit. Clearly, they thought.
Oh yeah,
Kinect
they're
was
like,
the
my next
future.
console is gonna do this again, and we were like,
we gonna make y'all do this Connect next time. Nah, that didn't work
that's
out.
the other reason why I always say that the PS4 isn't that great of a console. You just had two your competitors just fucked
It
up so
completely
badly.
fumbled. Right.
They both chased the wrong thing, and it burned them both on top of other issues. And Xbox just couldn't get a good game release out for the life of them. Like
But-
the whole generation, we were.
They
struggling.
still can't.
All right,
Right.
that's
Good job, girl.
Oh, we tripping. You tripping now. You tripping now. But what I will say is that I think because Nintendo fumbled and obviously Xbox fumbled that generation, I think a lot of Sony fans and maybe even Sony itself got a lot of false. They also got false information that gen. Because if you look at this gen, I think I think their plan. And maybe I should make a video of this. Their plan going into this gen was we're gonna ride basically the exclusive, even timed exclusive thing, and continue to run the generation the way they kind of did last gen, and that quickly just went away. Like that quickly was just
There
not.
wasn't too much money on these
Yeah,
games.
like
It wasn't even the console at this point. You were just
Because
losing money on.
because they were complaining about that even in the PS4 era about how expensive their
But they kept
you know,
pushing.
because they had to. That's how
They
'cause
created that. They created.
they
their
created
own,
that
standard for themselves.
Yeah.
Because
And I think-
Sony has
I think
been
I
pouring.
think this generation is exposing them a bit.
They've been
because-
burning money, Sony, man. Like what you guys said, with like between the what was the Last of Us co-op shit and like the Valorant whatever shit
Yeah.
and like the other ones like millions and millions in games that you just no, it's just
I mean,
so crazy.
It's a part of the industry. You have to take risks, but I felt like it got to the point where I was like, bro, if you want to gamble on maybe a couple live service, sure,
Yeah.
like 10 of them bitches. It was like
Instead
yo,
of putting 400
I forgot.
million in some jank ass game that you're canceling, I don't know, split it up, make like 10 actually good games out of that.
what's
Yeah,
up, T?
I forgot who it was, but they made such a really good point about how kind of Sony kind of lost their way. They basically wanted to be what Xbox was oddly, because they
which
lost
was-
their identity as far as like the Japanese identity is almost completely gone.
Oh, it's shot. I honestly,
Completely
to be
shot.
fair, they
Right.
started losing that in the PS3, but people didn't really.
Right, it was
notice as
PS3 when they started to lose that, but I think they
almost-
picked it up a little bit better in PS4 era, but they've completely lost it at this point. Like, holy crap!
You
like-
were okay, so you're right. When PS4 started, they held it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we still got things like Gravity Rush and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And then I want to say like halfway around it, they just said, "Fuck all that. We're just doing."
Yeah, they chased it like
we went through that really bad period when they moved all their stuff to the western side, and they said,
Yep.
"Oh, we don't have Japanese studios." Like,
That was around the same time where, because in the past, Nintendo was the one censoring all their games, and PlayStation was like wide open market, and that was the same point where PlayStation started censoring everything, and Nintendo was getting the uncensored stuff.
And you got Jim Ryan running your Japanese company. Like, what the fuck?
That was crazy.
What the fuck is going on here?
That was crazy.
And then Herman Hulst.
We
and
never
like,
talked
what
about
the-
Yoshido, like what he said now that he's no
Oh,
longer
yeah.
with them.
What did he
but
say?
He said about
He said a bunch
They
of stuff,
basically-
but
one of the big things was they basically pushed him out. They said you either go do the indie thing or retire. Basically, is what they told him.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, holy shit. And this was during like he said Jim Ryan told him that, and I was like, holy wow,
That's kind of crazy.
that's crazy.
well, he had a
I-
bunch of other information. I forget what it was, but
I might go look. I might go look.
Yeah,
that
he
up
said
later.
yeah he said
he
a
talked
lot of
about
stuff
some
in his
game
recent
development
interview.
stuff, and
The main thing I've learned is that Sony at a certain point, and I want to say it was probably PS4, although PS3 started it, was that Sony wanted to be that kid in the room where video games aren't just for kids. Video games are cool and they can be thought-provoking and intellectual. Here's the kicker. He's right, but he thought that it was games like Last of Us that pioneered that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's always been a thing, guys.
That's always been a thing, especially on the PC side.
And so as a result, they created this narrative for themselves and locked themselves in this bubble where they can only make those kind of games. I'm like, bitch, this is a big ass hallway, and
Yeah,
you're stuck
that's
in this
crazy.
little corner going this one direction.
we'll say
And
Last
so
of Us
now-
is their best-selling game of all time.
Think of,
but
think of the
Is it?
yeah, but how much did they actually make off of it?
I'm not
It might
sure.
be their best selling game, but how much was that budget, and how much did they actually make, profit wise?
I bet you the first game was expensive for the time, but compared to now, it probably sound cheap. Like
right.
Oh,
Probably
it
was.
was,
12
I think
years
that's the
ago.
other reason why. That's the reason why they keep reselling. Anyone getting that Last of Us controller? I think
No.
was it Last
It
of Us?
doesn't
I mean,
look
just
that
look
good.
at PS2 library. After what was it? 5 years old almost now. The PS5
Yeah.
compared to the PS5 library.
Oh no, it's
Diversity.
not even. It's not
That's
even
why I
It's
think
not even close.
that's why honestly, if Xbox wasn't planning on releasing one in 2026, I think the PS5 probably won't even. For Sony, I think they would.
It must be around
I
10
think
years.
they'd be happy eight years by the
Yeah.
time they
Because
get like
I
some
mean, you just
consistent
released,
games out.
you
It's
just
gonna
released the Pro console last year. It'd be kind of crazy to be like, oh, by the way, here's PS6 at the end of this year. Like what?
be- honestly,
why-
they
I
didn't.
Well,
feel
Need,
like at this point, like Microsoft probably won't even release an X console, or it's gonna be something so different from a gaming console. Where they are at this point, you got like fucking Xbox games coming to Switch. You got like
I
all
think
this
it's
stuff.
just gonna be like a console SPC.
It's
where
gonna be
it'll
some
have
more
access
like
to,
that, I feel.
Steam, Game Pass, and all that other shit. Like,
then
it's
so-
not.
But do you know what that means though? That means they're gonna have fucking Sony games on their fucking console too.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
that is
That's
true.
some slick ass shit right there. That's some slick
Someone-
shit.
It's not that they're
It's-
using the Sony games; it's the fact that
Right.
they're going through
It's gonna be on Steam, right?
Mm-hmm.
it's just
And
going to
Sony
be
ain't gonna
interesting
like
to
that
see
shit.
because the price of GPUs and stuff has skyrocketed. So it'd be if they really going to try to push.
You know the
That
sad
huge
part,
leap.
though.
That's somebody said
Well, they said-
earlier,
They said it's gonna be the most
biggest leap, but they didn't say what
Biggest
way.
leap. Biggest leap and all this shit.
I mean,
But I think that has a lot to do with like AI and shit too.
I think what bums me out
Because
though
they're all in on that shit.
is that both of these consoles don't like PS5 or Xbox don't really feel like they've hit like a real wall to justify a new console. Now I know that's not what
No,
no.
I know that's not what's
I think
dictating a
Xbox is justified because ain't nobody buying Series X.
That's
That's
kind of
why-
their
They're-
fault.
And
That's
they're
their
not
fault.
try-
though.
well, yeah, it's their fault. But I can
Because they're
understand
not
how.
promoting it anymore. They just
Right.
gave up on that part. They say, well, everything's an Xbox. So why would I need the console then?
if
Right.
maybe
But
it's
sorry, go
maybe it's too much of a gamble, but if I was Sony, I'm like, I think the PS5 came out a year or two before they would have done it if it wasn't for Microsoft wanting to
Su-
move on from the Xbox One. Honestly, like
Well, no, they were both because like that's when the Switch came
Those-
out
those
almost. They, were,
consoles
they,
are
were-
long
they
in the
both
tooth.
Switch was
rushed it
already out.
because of that.
But
The
both
Switch
of
was
those
already
consoles
out for,
were
like,
pretty
3
long.
they were
in the
both
tooth.
7 years at that point.
At that
and,
time.
Yeah, they were.
But
I mean, it was about time. I will say the PS4
And
felt
they already
less
both
justified
had
in it.
tablet CPUs in them, so
Yeah.
they were both ready to move on. I
I
think.
always make the argument that the PS4 technically was in a good spot to keep going. Hence, part of the reason why it kept getting games.
It's still like Shinobi's
Yeah, it's
just
still getting fucking
PS4.
games.
Yeah,
They're not.
so like,
That's crazy.
but to be fair, I said the same thing about the PS3. The PS3 hit its stride. Think about it, the last year the PS3 was fucking Last of Us and what was it? Ghost of Tsushima? No.
PS3.
Yeah, the PS3.
Yeah,
It was
Last
Last
of Us was the last
Beyond
big.
Two Souls and all this shit came out in the last.
and even though I'm thinking of, and then the
Hey,
PS4
Uncharted-
ended off with Last of
Uncharted
Us
3.
And then the end of the PS4 was Last of Us 2 and fucking Ghost of Tsushima. I'm like,
God of War. What was that God of War game? That kind of.
that was 2018.
No.
Oh,
The
you're talking about
PS3?
on PS3.
That one.
Oh,
yeah. Ascension.
Ascension.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty ass.
But the point is,
it's funny because
I've
both
never.
of those side games from like Gears Judgment ass.
Mhm.
That game is such ass. I
Both
gave
those-
up on it. I can't play this shit no more.
They both
That
had
shit
side
was terrible.
games. Like
Yeah,
in
both
similar
of their
time.
side games were terrible.
The reality is that I always felt like Xbox needed the transition more than PlayStation. But PlayStation was always afraid of it going left, so he was like, I'm not going to just let you release a new console in front
Fox
of me.
gave
dog."
that up so fast. Like they went into that Game Pass thing like early on, and nothing came out of anything anymore.
Well,
I
Game
think
Pass
Game
has been
Pass-
since 2017 or 18.
Yeah, Game
That was-
Pass was on Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
Yeah,
late,
but with how
but it was late
hardcore they
Xbox
went,
One.
the selling point was always like, out of all the Xbox, it was always, man, Game Pass this, Game Pass that. You never heard shit about actual fucking games. It's like, yeah,
Well,
that's
I think
what you're
I think
selling.
on Xbox One, they didn't really
mean-
have the games.
Yeah, but remember the last
Yeah,
couple.
right.
Think about it. The last couple years of Xbox was what? State of Decay 2,
Right.
Crackdown
Crackdown
3.
Crackdown 3.
Like
Like,
all
it
those
was-
games were just absolutely
every
ass.
time
were
you saw
this close.
Crackdown, it was less and
This
less.
close to selling to Amazon, the Xbox. They were this
It
close.
was it was
so-
bad. It was
Yeah.
bad.
I think the
So
Sea of
I
Thieves launched
understood-
pretty bare bones in that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understood.
Kraken
it.
was lacking.
Oh, wow! I heard that in a while.
But if you look at the sales charts, the top games or whatever on every time an Xbox game comes to PlayStation is right at the top. Sea of Thieves is at the top, and so is Forza Horizon 5 right at the top. So they're not making stupid moves.
I was
they're
disappointed to see they said they have no plans of releasing Forza Horizon 5 physically, because I was like, that
Oh yeah, that ain't happening.
that almost could have got me. I mean, I think they had a physical.
They don't want to
on
release that shit
Xbox.
on. They barely want to release it on Xbox.
Yeah,
yeah,
they might have got me to buy it, because I only played it. I played it via Game Pass. I probably put 20 hours into 5. But I was like, physical edition might have convinced me. Maybe not at full price. I don't know, but I was like, that's the reason. I mean, that was a big blow for me for when I bought the Xbox. Was like the next big game, the one I was, looking forward to, Hellblade 2. Like, yeah, we're not releasing a physical version. I was like, God damn it, I'm not
Somebody-
ready.
some-
Zoo
Somebody over there
Tycoon,
buying it.
though.
Somebody buying it. That bit right at the top of them sales charts. I'm like, a lot of these Sony fans don't seem to mind now.
Right.
When these Xbox games come over there, like they
I
were
mean,
talking about
it's
Starfield
literally-
now. They shit on Starfield, but they take a omega dump on Starfield. But now they're like, yeah, I might have to buy that. What? Wait.
Well, Forza Horizon's literally the highest rated. I think maybe other than Pentiment, probably the highest
Yeah, but-
rated.
Sea of Thieves wasn't. And that shit was at the top of the charts
True.
too.
But out of all the games, like, I've been telling Clocked It for years, like since 2018, dude, you like racing games, you got to try Forza Horizon, whether one
gotta
way or
try.
another. And he was really resistant to it, and I'm just like, dude, it's amazing. Like,
Forza Horizon is 4 and 5 are amazing. Amazing.
Collected
games.
just like racing games with naked girls in them in the car. Ooh,
what? I mean, it's
this
not.
outrun shit. Like he likes
Yeah.
the classic stuff.
Yeah, you're not just selecting race. You have to drive around and select and find races and stuff. But
You don't
it's-
got to go this crazy with it, you know.
Oh yeah.
Why is this shit not focusing?
I was
I think
thinking,
at
man,
this
after
point,
watching
I
Gran
think-
Turismo, I was like, I wonder what it'd be like to have a racing
T is
setup.
like a fucking magician with just random shit in his room. I don't know what it
It's
is.
like a-
Every time, man. I'm waiting for you to pull out
Yeah, this
Steve
is-
Jobs' corpse and just be done with it.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I ain't doing.
What is that on the screen?
That's just the
Is
cover.
that
or whatever.
lotion? Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's the the sliding camera cover.
Mm.
You don't got one of them?
Mine doesn't have that.
No, you
No.
gotta buy it. You gotta buy it separately.
I bought one for my laptop instantly, of course, always.
You know, because you don't want the government spying on you. That'd be weird.
That's right. You don't want to be chilling. You don't
I
be
don't even
jerking
care
off,
for the
man.
government, man. These days,
Why
anybody
that
can
light
get
on?
in there.
Why's that light on?
Evening, children. Oh.
I saw an episode of man, what's that show on Netflix? A sci-fi anthology show. I can't
Mirror
think of the name of
Black,
it. Is it Black Mirror?
something like that.
Yeah, it's Black Mirror. And then like there was an episode where, well, this is way different, but this PDF file got caught.
Adobe
like-
PDF.
Yeah, Adobe PDF file, and like somebody was like, basically phone boothing him. They turned all his cameras and shit on, and I was like, that shit's scary, bro. That shit's kind of scary. And I've looked up before, and my fucking camera was on, and I didn't turn that shit on. So
They probably
and I
can
know
activate it
people can do
without.
that because I see.
You're not
what's
gonna
that?
get
I think
me
they can
copyright.
activate the camera without the light coming on too, if they're
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, you
that's
can.
why.
Yeah, so
Yeah, okay.
there you go.
They ain't gonna see much. They can see my cat sleeping if my chair's not in the way. I'm barely in here. I get a lot of phishing emails.
Oh.
Yeah. Not in this room. But yeah.
Thank you, T. God damn it.
So what do you think overall, Retro? Did you notice anything? I know you said that you don't like the UI. I didn't like the PS5's UI for a couple weeks. It took me a while to get used to like double tapping for a screenshot or something, or you hold for a screenshot, you double tap for a video. That threw me off for a long time.
On the PS4, you could set that. I'm assuming you can do it on the PlayStation 5 too, because I remapped that, but I didn't check that yet for the PlayStation 5. Because it's weird, yeah. Because like you want to take a screenshot and you press the button, and it like freezes the game.
You gotta
but it
hold the
doesn't
button.
freeze every game, because like it freezes Ratchet and Clank. But I think with Astro's Playroom, it keeps playing the game. Like it's different based on the game.
Yeah, you have to hold the button for a screenshot. That's what it was. That threw me off. Because on PS4, you just instantly you tap it, and then you have to hold it. But other than that, what do you think? How's your experience on PS5 so far?
I mean, like, I definitely, like I said, I love the controller. Absolutely love the controller. Like one of my favorite controllers. Like, I still got to get used to how to use it, because I was talking to you about it with like I think I was playing Astro's Playroom, and all of a sudden I hear like, what the Ratchet? I don't know which one. And I opened the cabinet, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what is this noise? Holy shit! I'm putting my hand on it. My hand is borderline burning and stuff. It's like fucking crazy. I'm like, is this next gen, or am I doing something wrong? So now I'm keep the little door open, and I guess it's better. I still think the design of the console is stupid. Like it looks really weird. It's very awkward to place anywhere. So I have it laying down. I think that was the best option, really.
That's what I'm gonna do when I get mine.
But yeah, the important thing is like games look fantastic on it, and the controller is absolutely amazing. But yeah, I don't know. The UI to me is just important. I liked when I turned on the PlayStation 4. Like you had big symbols from one side to the other. You can have your theme installed, so you got like nice music in the background. And now it's just very chaotic when you move.
Yeah,
from
they
one
did
game to
just
the other.
update it so your games are smaller and you can see like your activities. I
Yeah,
think
well,
you
yeah,
can
I
change
don't,
it.
I don't like that. Like I need to look into that still. But the important thing is the games look and play absolutely fantastic, and I'm excited to experience more. I'm excited to try. And the main Astrobot game. I'm excited to try Silent Hill. The new Silent Hill trailer was released. Holy
That was pretty
shit!
good.
I'm excited for that. Looks amazing, and it just definitely to me feels like it's a next gen kind of jump and stuff, especially when you're playing the Switch. So it just makes me think like I just hope Nintendo's has a visual jump like that as well, because it's still exciting. I kept saying like there's not many actual PlayStation 5 games, and it's a shame, especially if they're thinking like, let's stop this now. Like, I hope they're gonna keep games, but for now, there's like a bunch of games I'm so excited for. I still want to play the Demon Souls remake. Like I said, Spider-Man, I'm excited for it. So there's enough still for me to buy to be like definitely excited. Like, I can't wait to see like what's happening. Like, I hope that Spider-Man specifically uses the DualSense controller. Like, I
think
just
it
want
would.
games to use. I just want games to use that controller, man. It's a great controller.
Avatar uses it pretty cool. I know you probably never played the game, but there's a like you pull resources, so you're like picking fruit off like this vine, and you have to like squeeze the trigger just right till it stops like resisting you, and then once you feel that, then you
Yeah, that's
pull
a
it,
cool
and you
use.
get like a perfect pull, and you get like a pristine version
that's-
of it. And I was like, man, like I would not want to play like pulling that fruit without that mechanic into the adaptive control like trigger. Like like I didn't say I wouldn't say I looked forward to it, but every time I was like, yeah, that feels really cool. Like just the amount of pressure. All right, you find the sweet spot, and then you click it real quick, and you get your pristine pull, and
That's true.
that was cool, a cool thing. But yeah,
I never thought. That's one thing I never thought it would be a thing. Is that man? This Sony controller is great. I
hey,
never thought.
I
Well,
would,
Oh,
I
I
fell into that
absolutely agree with
timeline.
that. I fucking hate the PlayStation 2 controller. The PlayStation 1 controller isn't the best either. The PlayStation 3 is even worse. The PlayStation 4 controller is the first PlayStation controller that
PlayStation
I
4
actually
controller was the first one. I was
enjoy.
I
like, all right, this
personally
is
think
nice.
the
Yeah.
4 is more comfortable, but the 5
Yeah.
just
But yeah, the DualSense is definitely very, for me, it's very. The one thing I don't like about that controller, and maybe it's because my fingers are a bit long, I don't know, is like on the inside of the way you're
there's like
holding
a
it,
rib, like
it's
a
a sharp ridge.
Yep.
I don't understand why design-wise that is there. It's a
I
stupid
thought about
design.
sanding mine down a little bit. That black plastic comes out pretty
Yeah.
easily. But
Like, I
yeah,
don't understand why that's done.
so for the last few months after I played Silent Hill 2, I started The Last of Us Part 1. I mixed a little Horizon Zero Dawn remastered in there, but I went from like a heavy, dreary, post-apocalyptic nightmare settings, and I put in Astro's Playroom the other night after you enticed me with your trash talk. And just the first Astro's Playroom, like I hadn't played it since Astrobot. Like I was surprised at how good Astro's Playroom looked. Like,
I was surprised with how good it looked.
and then I put on Astro. I'm like, man, I'm just not used to colorful right now. I've been playing these dreary, realistic, gritty games, and then this blast of color. And the HDR is really more apparent on games like the Astro's Playroom, where it's bright, colorful stuff. Like, it's less impactful on dark, dreary games. Like, it just factually is. And I was just like, man, like this is the first time I played Astro Bot on my newer TV, and but Astro's Playroom, I'm like, damn, like this is a launch title, and 4 years later, almost, oh yeah, it's just over 4. I was like, man, what a breath of fresh air going to these colorful games, and it is a shame that Sony doesn't really steer that way hardly at all, except for this team Asobi seems to be, they're got their team, and hopefully they, I don't know if they need to make another Astro game or they can have them make a new game, but it is
Yeah, because even Ratchet and Clank still feels like a slightly more colorful version of standard Sony games. Like the style, the way it looks, it still has that that synth wave aesthetic in some levels. You get into nature areas and it just feels like it looks amazing, but it still feels like PlayStation. It's not like what Astrobot is doing, where they're taking a chance on it.
And then Astrobot has levels that are like, I wouldn't say 8-bit. They're almost like Minecrafty, but super crisp, and like I would like the whole game honestly to look like that. It looks so cool. So definitely, I know if you like Playroom, I think Astrobot. I know we argue over if it's a full game or not. Astro's Playroom definitely was. Once you play Astrobot, you'll know, like, all right, this is the team, basically with no restrictions, no time limit. Like they made it's a completely different playing field. Like the levels are huge. There's so much more like variety of stuff to do, the power ups, and some of the level design to me is like was on like Nintendo tier. Like only a few levels. I'll be honest. It's like two or three levels in Astro Bot where I was like, damn, this is like one of the most clever 3D platforming levels that I've ever played. Like it's just a really cool idea. So yeah. Anyway,
I like the in Astro's Playroom. I like the space mini game stuff where you control the little ship. I thought that was really fun.
where you fly with holding the triggers.
Even the monkey levels were kind of interesting to do, but I fucking hated that frog one, the jumping frog
that's definitely
stuff.
the
That was
weakest.
tedious, man.
I remember
Like I'm definitely all that makes me excited, but even just like walking around the level and you're seeing like all these PlayStation characters as different bots, you know, and like you could interact with them and stuff. All that makes
they're all
me
like
excited.
film crews. I don't know if you noticed that. They're all like
Yeah,
it's like a film crew on everyone, basically.
He can like mess with everything. Like that's because like Robert said he hated that, but to me that makes Astro Bot the way it's like a PlayStation legacy game. There's like you collect PlayStation stuff. There's PlayStation characters everywhere. Like that's what PlayStation should do more because they have a crazy legacy. I feel they just don't use that enough.
I love any video game that like that in the game you see like a console. You know, like I love that about Banjo-Kazooie. Where you go over to the different file and he'd be playing the fucking Game Boy and shit, and then
that's all that is Astro Bot
sounding.
What's isn't there a Nintendo Switch game where when you're idle it picks up? Maybe I'm thinking Astro Bot. Where
Donkey Kong does it a lot. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, Donkey Kong
did it.
Yeah.
But it might have been an
Picks up
Astro.
like a
But
Switch.
if you leave him, he like sits down and he's playing like.
Oh yeah,
handheld.
Astro Bot does that. Astro Bot does that, but it's different things. Like he can take the Vita or like put the PSVR on. He's like playing it and stuff.
I think there's a Nintendo one I was playing recently that did that.
Donkey Kong does that.
Well, Donkey Kong does that.
Which game though?
Tropical Freeze and
all of them.
Return.
I wasn't playing any of those recently though. Something I swear I was playing within the last month. I have to look through my collection.
Was it Donkey Kong 64 on Switch Online?
No. No. But it's that stuff's cool,
right? Is that on there?
No, I don't think so.
It's
Wait,
not on there.
DK64?
No. Because I would have tried it because I never played it.
It was on the Virtual Console. What's up with that shit, bitch?
Oh, let me see.
But anyway, we got to get out of here. It's
it's like...
We'll be back next week, and then after that, we'll be switched to Direct, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. Can't see what that is. The Quick and the Dead, really?
I love this movie.
Do you?
I know this movie gets shit up. I love
God
The Quick and the Dead. I love that movie.
I saw it at the theater. I don't think I've seen it since.
And rest in peace to the great Gene Hackman. He is awesome in this. He's awesome in this movie. So,
but anyway, we'll get out of here. We'll see you guys next week.
You don't like The Quick and the Dead, man? Sam
I
Raimi
saw it at
did
the theater.